using adult language. We laugh and make jokes about almost everything. We don't intend to upset, but some folks have their feelings hurt easily. This is all done in humor in the style of the great offenders such as George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Sam Kinison, George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, Chris Rock, and others. So grab your vice of choice, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourself in the company of great people, hot toddies, and guests alike, because here we come.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and let our stories your ear. Cause when I talk to the tavern, here you're always welcome. The talk to the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk to the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk to the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to Monday, April 30th episode of Talk of the Tavern. It's Wood! So, nothing makes Elizabeth cheer like Wood. Okay, let's go through the introductions. We'll start with Elizabeth. She's all excited and happy to be out of Virginia and back home.
Hello from New York, back in my cell with the madness and mayhem. And the most exciting thing today has encouraged me for a new drink, which is ginger honey lemon specialty, because there's a roaring stomach flu going through the school. And yes, we did have almost a brown alert and a puke alert in my class. Fabulous. And to rid myself of that memory, a quick Pilsner, and as always, iced, lovely water. Cheers.
Yeah. Speaking of things that make us cheer, let's also go ahead and say hello to Andrea.
Oh, yay. Hi. Well, I have tea. Green Lantern glass. And then tonight's vice. Chocolate bunny.
Oh my. That is one big ass bunny.
To go with that chocolate bunny. To go with the chocolate bunny, I have peanut butter, chunky and regular. All of this courtesy of the Skippers for my birthday. Thank you.
Will you be eating the nut one?
Yeah, I will.
Your bunny makes me think of Sing with, oh my god, look at her butt. Now, speaking of wonderful chocolate things, let me also introduce Ed Summers. What's your vices today, bud?
And do you want to see my butt?
Well, yeah.
Yes. Come on.
Hey, everybody. I am drinking, for tonight's show, Woodford Reserve.
Because it's
awesome.
wood.
And, vaping on nutty tobacco.
Oh, that works out, too. And then our special guest tonight is Daniel. Oh, you know what? You think I would have learned his last name. Or you could just make
Carter.
that up. Oh, Carter. See, I knew that. It's actually right there. But it's, So any relation to Samantha Carter from Stargate?
Would it help?
No.
No, but Linda Carter might.
Yeah,
Linda Carter. Whoa.
Yeah.
Right.
Loved me some Linda Carter.
Really? Did you have to pay?
No, I always figured if I married her, she wouldn't have to change her name and there would be no issues. I was probably 8.
Nice. That's a good deal. By the way, everybody viewing, good evening. Make sure you tell us what your vices are tonight and let us know what went on your weekend. So, Daniel, what's your vices tonight? What do you got in front of you there?
I am sitting here with a bottle of local Pendleton whiskey.
Uh-huh.
I've got my It's Wood mug from Alaska full of Obsidian Stout.
Nice.
But I'm not going to tell you what my real vices are because the microphone or the camera is chest up. So you'll see none of that.
Half shirt and nothing else.
Hey, if you can't record in your underwear, what fun is it doing this, right?
Well, then you record in somebody else's.
Exactly.
It's okay. We can work that out. Let's see here. Okay, my vices tonight. What do I got? I have Elizabeth came to visit this past weekend, and we'll be getting to that in a moment. And there was one beer left. So here's O'Connor Otis dry Irish stout that I got to try. And in honors of the Avengers coming out this weekend, I've got a Spider-Man pint glass, Captain America shirt, and I will be smoking. I don't even remember what I put in this. Dunhill 965. That's what I'll be smoking tonight. Let's do an opening toast here. Here's to getting wood, or even better, giving it.
Here,
Here.
Nailed it.
I want to say hi to Cernix and Lady Skipper. Hi, guys.
Oh, Skipper!
Pour one out. Cernix, no spoilers.
Did you guys get to see it?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll be quiet.
No, we were partying with the Tavern.
Yeah, we were.
Again.
Yeah. So you saw it, Ed?
There were more days in the weekend. Yeah, I saw it Sunday morning.
Okay. Daniel, did you see it?
I have not. I've been on a trip.
Okay. So you want to give some quick thoughts without spoilers here, Ed?
I'm
No.
waiting for the second one.
So it was total crap.
You know, I wouldn't rate it high up there on the Marvel movies. Probably somewhere in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
the second one. You know,
Okay.
just got to see how it plays out.
Okay. It's
Oh.
yeah.
Raving reviews.
And Cernix is throwing out an amazing movie, Marvel's Empire Strikes Back, and that seems to be a general consensus online. Though I have avoided social media, not for that reason, just I was busy. So
We were busy.
we were.
Yeah, we were.
We were busy with
It was a tough movie to sit through. It
You
really
guys were
was.
busy with Elizabeth.
Why
Yeah,
was
we
it
were.
hard to sit through?
Well, we had an 11:30 movie. We'd stayed up all night. It was 11:30 a.m. We'd stayed up all night Saturday night, drinking with friends. Got up late Sunday morning. Had 2 cups of coffee. Decided since we went to Alamo, we always go to Alamo to see movies because I can drink and eat. We'll just have brunch there.
Mm-hmm.
Got in the theater, did the check, Nah, ain't got to pee. Coffee's doing good. Sit down, ordered my lunch, had a Sprite. They bring me my Sprite just as the movie's beginning. I take 3 sips of it, and it's like, son of a bitch. So I sit there for 2.5 hours. And let me tell you, this movie had the longest fucking credits of any movie I've ever seen, because you got to sit through the credits to see the,
Right.
thing at the end. So, damn, that was rough.
Sounds like my sex life. Gotta sit through it to see the end.
Oh,
You
I
don't
thought you
just
meant
pee in the
rough.
cup.
Now there were other people around, and I didn't want to frighten anybody.
They'd all
He
want to
has
hold
to
it.
hold the cup so far away, though.
It's front row. Out in the front row.
No.
Here, hold this cup.
Pass it
Well,
forward.
yeah, we were in the back row, so yeah, we had to pass it down to the front row.
That's rough. That's rough. I feel for you. I know what that's like, man. What was it? The joke? The water is deep and it's cold too. You've all heard that. If not, Google it. You'll enjoy yourself.
Now we had the event. You
Hi,
okay there, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I was going over the subway, and I, of course, see a guy not just peeing in the street, but he's wiping his penis with a napkin as if there's something extraordinarily wrong. And the thought occurred to me as I walked past him, if I could just one day make it home without seeing a penis, someone picking their nose, or spitting, it would be a beautiful day.
What fun is that?
What's wrong with wiping your penis with a napkin, don't you?
Not in public. I put mine in the dishwasher. Nailed it.
Good evening.
How you
Kelly.
doing, Eden? Shout out, brother.
There you go, and Ian also, yes.
Oh, and Andrea and Travis, I thought for sure you two would be drinking sake this evening.
There is that. There is that.
There's a
Elizabeth,
It's only on Thursdays.
Would you care to tell us about how the things went this weekend for the party here?
Oh, it was fabulous. It was just an incredible party. We had some listeners show up. We had amazing potato salad made by Mr. Travis himself. The kitties were locked away, so it made for good entertainment watching them bang on the glass door. Like, let me out! Fabulous beer. Good. Hula hooping in the dark was fantastic, as with playing with Andrea's glowing balls.
Yeah, you were.
The highlight was recording. Everyone's cheering on Talk of the Tavern. And just being around a lot of laughter and good conversation and just pure enjoyment. Lovely, lovely weekend in the country. It was fabulous. I feel recharged.
I'd like to do a few shout outs to a few of the viewers that made it out there. And I know at least the skippers are amongst us right now. And possibly Desmond will be joining us later.
Yay,
if he's not already
skippers.
here. So, yeah, well, the skippers also, they brought the bunny that we've heard of. But also, they were kind enough to bring equipment for the show itself. And that's, oh, yeah, see, I forgot to, hold on, muting. That's probably Kevin. Let's see,
It's
Kevin will join us in 10 minutes. So, we'll bring in our international contingent.
Wanker.
That's absolutely right. Yes, no Desmond yet, but Desmond showed up. Desmond brought cigars. The skippers brought a condenser mic that we can use. So I can return the borrowed one that we had. I also want to mention last week on Wednesday, on Andrea's birthday. Now, Elizabeth's birthday was Saturday. Andrea's was Wednesday. So we had the party on Saturday and dedicated it to Elizabeth. Wednesday, we had a whiskey tasting on the show, which I know a lot of you guys during the week can't join us in the afternoon, but we went to Ed's. Now, Ed got presents out of this, too, quite by accident, as I left my 2 bottles of whiskey there.
It's nice he's taking care of those for you.
I rub them and pat them.
And put them in his belly.
Give them CPR.
Actually, I have no problem with him doing any of that, because at least I know he'll enjoy it while he's doing it, as opposed to, some people just drink it because they're my family.
Yeah, well.
So they're just naturally drunk.
I drink it to silence the voices.
See, I guess I'm going to save this for for this week in history. I have a news article here I need to go over from my local paper. It's a beautiful news article. Yeah, that one.
Looking forward to that.
I want to throw in one point.
Yes.
Here we go, a little philosophical. You can really tell a lot about people, not only by how they keep the house or themselves, but by their companionship or their animals. And I have to say, to be in a house with 8 kitty cats, I was curious, let's just say. And I was absolutely blown away by just not only the friendliness of the cats, but how defined each one in their own personality. When I first initially walked in, there's 8 cats. I thought, oh my God, how am I going to ever remember all their names? And by the end of the first day, I did. Some were a little more shy than others, but none of them ran for me out of terror or fear. They just, they didn't want to be touched or petted. And all of them would play and just interact. And I'd say that reveals a lot about their 2, owners. So cheers to you two. Thanks for having me.
We
but
beat 'em
Elizabeth,
all. Go ahead, Daniel.
No, I was saying cats don't care what you think their names are. Did you know that?
They're not going to answer anyway.
They're not dogs. Come on.
But I respect them.
It's probably 3 out of the 8
Some
will
of
answer
them.
to their name, and depending on if you're rattling food when you say it or not.
That's
They just don't answer their phone.
That's right. They each have their own phone. Yeah, they don't pick it up.
She was the
Ignore. Fucking pussy.
Elizabeth was the keeper of the red dot, so they
Oh my
listened.
Lord! Yes.
Yeah.
No, I've been to people's houses where the animals
Thanks,
flee
Skipper.
in terror.
Thanks, Skipper.
Hey, Skipper, ahoy!
That's because we beat them until they learn to not be afraid.
Well done, sir. Just like how I teach.
That's right. This is what's going to help the next generation the most. It's
I can't break the bunny.
do you
I
need
can't get the ears off.
Hit it!
Do you
Hit
need a
it! Come
hammer?
on, girl.
Daniel on
I need
his,
to borrow your left. I need to borrow your
Architect.
left-handed hammer.
Do you need to borrow a saw?
No, the left-handed hammer.
Oh yeah, the left-handed hammer.
Cat's
Everyone cheer her on. Break it. Break it. Break it.
Maybe one of the cats will help.
Bunny
You
Busters.
have to get a good firm grip on it
Yes.
and then tug.
Don't be shy. Oh!
Oh, she got it. Chug, 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 chug.
Toey had
How
a
is it?
chocolate bunny for dinner too. Yeah. Now can you blow in it and be like, ooh?
Where's the milk? Where's the milk?
No.
You play like a jug band. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, They brought me the bunny because I'm very particular about the chocolate peanut butter ratio of Reese's Easter eggs. So, chocolate bunny, jar of peanut butter.
Give the lady what she wants. Yeah.
Got my chocolate in your peanut butter. Wait, that's something Ed should say. I'm not me. I stepped on your line there. I'm sorry, man.
This is when Bob needs to come in.
Yeah.
Is Bob?
He's
Oh, no.
0.4% black.
I do want to point out that
He
Sir
was-
Skipper.
If you say his name 3 times, he'll appear.
Sir Skipper is the #1 cheerer right now with 5 bits for this week since it reset. So if anybody's, wanting to take that
On it.
position, go ahead. Here comes Tall Sally sneaking in the back.
I'm going to take that position.
I heard a beep.
Um,
No,
It's coming?
that's a program I'm
No.
about to uninstall because I've tried turning off the notifications and it will not
Right.
do it.
see, he's not good at turning things off. He can only turn things on.
He's
Ba-dum.
watching. Kevin's watching us. I just want everybody to know. See, there's
He's
a cheer.
lurking.
That's Night Owl Creations have moved into first place. Look at that go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm #1.
You're
I'm counting.
And sure, she's #1.
That was 2. That's 2. You've dropped down.
There, we get our top 3 slots filled, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Mobile.
I hate it when my top 3 slots get filled.
Outdo.
Yeah, you can't breathe.
As far as you know. As far as you know.
It's
Kevin, quit doing that. You need to get on Skype. Come on.
I know what else I need to talk about. I need to talk about this. I'm posting a link right now. We have a cafe press store, so we had like pint glasses and shot glasses, and I went and updated it because this weekend one of the many topics we went over with Elizabeth while she's here. There's these shirts out there, and they're cute. They're like, they say, "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20." We've seen these shirts, yes? Well, I went, well,
Yes,
what is there
yes.
besides gay? So I have designed 4 shirts that I now have for sale, and one of them is, "I'm not an assassin, but $20 is $20." There's also, "I'm not a politician, but $20 is $20." I'm not a, this is my favorite, "I'm not a proctologist, but $20 is $20." And the last one suggested by Andrea is, "I'm not a sex pillow, but $20 is $20." So,
Awesome.
yeah.
And he put that on a pillow.
Yeah, I did put that on the pillow. I'm like, a sex pillow's got to go on a pillow, right?
So should I steal that and say I'm not a woodworker, but $20 is $20?
You can,
No.
absolutely.
When I slept in at home.
It's Skipper cheered for that. Well, damn it. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out how to uninstall that stupid program. It's actually Facebook Messenger. I wanted to stay off Facebook, so I installed the app on my computer, figuring, oh, this is a convenient way. But now, unlike my phone where I can turn off the noises, this program won't let me turn off the damn noises.
Akira! It's
So-
going to overtake everything.
Uninstall it
Facebook.
goes.
Mhm.
I read a long
Fuck
article
face.
about that. Kevin,
Just
you're-
uninstall the one called Windows. That'll help.
Yeah, good luck.
It's a good idea. Kevin, we are waiting for you before we go to the topic. I figured I'd let you finish eating, tell us your vices, and
Well-
no pressure, man.
So, Skippers, Ian, everybody listening, what's your vices tonight?
Nobody told us. They have no vices except Kevin and his eating.
Mm.
Ian says, I'm not an assassin anymore, but butterscotch is butterscotch. Yep, totally don't get it. What? There's
Birthday gift.
That's Elizabeth's
I should've-
good wish jar.
Mhm. Her
That's my good wish
her
jar.
happy brick.
I'm only allowed 50 pounds on the train because you have to lift it over your head. And Andrea gave me a brick. I did it too. I got that sucker up there. I took the beers out, made it a lot lighter, drank the beers on the ride home. It was lovely.
How do you pour the beers into your travel mug? While
You just drink
on
them.
the train? You just drink it? They let you
You
just
just-
have bottles of beer?
Yeah,
Oh.
other people had it. It's on the website. You're allowed to drink on Amtrak. You're allowed to bring your own alcohol.
Oh,
It said
Did you
something
pee in the
about.
corner?
I did not. I peed in the toilet.
but the night is
Actually, I
young.
peed in the bottle.
The night is young.
She had the people in the front row.
But
holding it
remember,
so she could-
I was having a discussion with one of our listeners, and he said in the South, the engines are diesel run, and then you get above the Mason-Dixon line, they change engines to go electrical. So on the way to, we stopped up in Washington. We got rid of our diesel engine, which was traveling at 70 miles an hour. They put on the electric, and we were at 120. And I was a half hour early in New York. Yeah.
We've all been train educated.
Train and
You're such a teacher.
Or
The
train.
more you know. Oh, the night is young, my friend. The night is young.
So Chris is thinking of
And none of
opening.
us are.
Lady Skipper says. Lady Skipper says Chris is thinking of opening the Boru vodka.
Do it.
Do it.
You
Do
can
it.
do it.
What is
Chug.
that?
Chug. Chug.
Lady Skipper almost won the Cards Against Humanity game.
So close.
She had the streaks, though. She had the best streaks.
Hmm.
Ew.
Yeah, they were.
That's dirty.
Whoa, I missed streaking?
Yeah, you did.
Damn.
See?
It depends what kind of streaks you're talking about. Are you supposed to like streaks across the front yard?
Look at it, look at it.
Hey, there's the
Kevin's
Kevin.
streak.
Wait, where is he? There he
Yeah.
is.
Kevin! What up, my
What up?
brother?
Hey, how you doing, Ed? What up, everybody? Sorry I'm late. No, I'm not. Who am I trying to kid?
Kevin, this is Daniel. Daniel,
Correct.
that's Kevin. Kevin, what's your
Hi,
bite?
Hey,
Daniel.
Kevin.
My vices tonight. I'm glad you asked me, Travis. Tonight, I'm in a fuck it mood, so I shall be consuming a bottle of Chateau Neuf de Pape
Nerve to Pap.
and a Camacho.
Camacho.
Hey, you pronounce it how you want, all right?
Wait.
You mean
Hold
correctly?
that bottle up again. Hold that bottle up again. Hold it slowly. Let me see it. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
That's
will.
a good one. Yeah. Yummy. Good call.
Yep, Leon Perdigal.
Yeah.
The joys of having just had a menu change at work is that some of the wines we used to stock have been delisted in favour of newer wines, which means that our staff get to buy all the old stock at discounted rate.
Oh.
I won't
Nice.
upset you by telling you what I paid for that bottle of Chateau Neuf de Pape, but it was considerably cheaper than shelf price.
I like the fact that it has the word Nerf in it.
Neuf.
I
Hey,
shared a
Hey,
bottle
Roughhead.
of 2005 with my father over Christmas.
Oh,
Most I ever spent on a bottle, and it was well worth it. Chateau Neuf de Pape.
and if I
Yeah, this is only
Roughhead joined us, and so did Jack-o'-lantern. Hey, we hung out with him at RavenCon.
hey guys. Yeah, this is only a 2014, so
Oh, still.
even so, it's still Chateau Neuf de Pape.
if I can interrupt real quick, guys. Yes, as
Of
Andrew
course.
said hello to Kennedy, and see, I've already forgot which one Jack-o'-lantern is. Is that Mark or is that David? It's Mark, right? Anyhow, original Jack-o'-lantern. Good to see you guys.
It's the
And,
original.
you want to tell folks about bits and Prime and all that?
Yeah. Hold on. Lots of peanut butter.
Right. Oh, I could tell him if you've got a mouthful of peanut butter.
Well,
Yeah.
Garty Mall 56 is following. Thank you, Garty Mall. Appreciate that.
Okay. If you look in the chat box, there is a little triangle. Those are bits. You can click on it. You can watch videos to get bits to throw at us, or you can pay your money. Either way, the bits are counted to us. Each bit is a penny. Throw us your bits.
We'll take your bits.
Yeah.
Little bits, all your bits.
And the jack-o'-lantern is Mark.
Got it. Did you tell him
Sweet.
about Prime and
Sweet.
subscribing?
Oh, if you are a Amazon Prime member, you can subscribe to Twitch for free, our Twitch channel for free. No cost to you, but it gives us a little bit of cash.
There we go.
A
Okay.
little bit of cash.
A little
Cash.
cash. Sweet. It's and I
Couple
mentioned
bucks,
the
you know. Throw your buck.
updated merchandise store. Let's see, got that. Okay. Let's move forward to the Hey, thanks for that cheer there, Mark. Appreciate it. I need something that clinks better. Hey, how's this? This isn't too intimidating, is it?
Peanut butter.
There you go.
That's all right. My street cred. There we go. Moving on.
God, that doesn't do it.
See, if we timed it right, we could like clink glasses, and it would. Yeah, there you go. Cheers.
Oh, Ed, Kevin, Elizabeth, we had this great idea. Let's all get the same kind of liquor, like a bottle of Jameson's or whatever. And then what we'll
Yeah.
do, we'll pour one and we'll like pass it out the side of the screen. And then somebody else will pick up their bottle, bring it on screen. And we just go around one at a time. We would just have to set the order. That way it looks like we're all in the same place with different backgrounds.
And
Don't
any
give
scheme,
away
that,
the
whiskey
secret.
to the left-hand side.
yeah, any scheme that gives me an excuse to buy a bottle of Jameson's is fine by me.
There we
Right
go.
here.
Figure that's
And
available.
Skipper, oh my God, the
What?
model numbers.
What do you say there? What?
Skipper said if you really want to know my vices, I can go out to the garage and write down the brands and model numbers.
But I'm bummed.
And don't forget, you can make
Just take.
Hmm? Go ahead,
Hang
Daniel.
I was
Borrow
going to
that
say,
from
do
me.
they take C or D batteries?
It plugs in.
Yeah, I did.
Hang far enough for a minute, Skipper. We'll put it to the bench.
Ah. See, okay,
Nah,
now,
bench,
Daniel,
bench voice. Fuck. Well,
Daniel,
I should have saw that one coming.
I thought I made it plain.
Plain.
Anyway, screw this.
You would say that.
You bunch of nuts. I'm gonna bolt.
Nailed it.
I think we should finish.
Finish. I think we can polish up a bit more.
So, Daniel, I'm curious. Do you actually have vices that take batteries in your wood shop?
Oh, in my wood shop? No, those are in my bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Are we transitioning?
I've been trying to, like, since Kevin did his
All right.
vices. But we
All
got
right, Dan.
distracted,
So let's
as
get
we
this
do.
party started.
Where's your board today? Do we get no board today? Oh, we
Wanna
do,
see my
yay.
wig? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Her
I've already started. I can do many things at once. All right, Dan.
What?
So why wood? First off, we should tell people what you do.
Well, I'm a woodworker, and my current project is a podcast series called It's Wood. And the motto is It's Wood. It's a show about all things woodworking. So I talk to anybody. It's an interview show. I talk to people that are woodworkers, tool companies, forestry people, anything. And it's an entertainment show for people that like that sort of thing. And I've been doing this series since January. And I just got back from a trip in California interviewing people down there. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. And these people have some great stories. And just I'm out collecting those.
And Kennedy, that's actually not a show you can watch. That is an audio show. But give Andrea a second. She's going to post the link so you can listen to it on a regular basis. He's like all famous. He did a wood tour and went around and touched people's wood, and they gave him presents.
They did. It was like it always shocks me so much that when I go and interview somebody that they're so grateful that I was there. And I'm just doing it for me. And I'm thanking them, and they're going, no. Here's a gift. And absolutely every tool company that I interviewed down there gave me something. So I have lots of things to play with. And one of them, as Travis was joking earlier, is a left-handed hammer. And I didn't know such a thing existed, But awesome folks down there. And I went and visited the College of the Redwoods. It's the Krenoff School, and Krenoff was a famous furniture designer, and everybody's really passionate about them. And one of the ones that stood out was a guy named Eiler, and he's an instructor at the school. And we went to his wood shop, sat down, and he says, "Okay, first I have to bring." He was from Denmark, and he said, "First I have to bring out some food and drinks." And I've never had anybody do that. And we sat there and had food and drinks, and he told us his stories and showed us his boat that they're building. And it's just amazing. These people are so gifted. I love craftsmen.
Okay, so what drew you to interviewing people about wood?
Gosh, I hate to tell secrets, but it's really selfish because I wanted to go to these people's shops, see their stuff, see their art, and just did it. I mean, I did another series of podcasts in 2014. I won't mention them because it didn't end well with my partner. You're waving your phone. Do you have a question, or you just Andrea?
Oh, she froze up.
Oh, okay.
No, no question. There we go.
Okay. But no, and it was
look at your phone.
I was on a plane ride back from Disneyland. I took my family to Disneyland, and there was a couple ladies sitting in the seats beside me, and I asked them, why they were in Anaheim. And because I doubted that they were there, they were older ladies. I doubted that they were from going to Disneyland. And they said, "Oh, we just got back from a podcasting convention." So I said, "Oh, I had a little experience in that." And she said, "Well, why aren't you still doing it?" And I thought that was a very good question. And I'd been sitting on this name, itswood.com, forever. I'm a graphic designer and a web designer, so I tend to do that if I see a domain name that's available. And I went, that's a really good question. And I got just the name for it, and came up with the concept, and here I am 20 episodes in.
But don't you work with wood as well?
I do. I've been a woodworker forever. I mean, I learned it from my dad because we built our house. I learned it from my grandfather. I took woodshop in high school, and it's something I do. I did tool testing for the industry for 21 years. So companies would send me their tools. I would work with them, make suggestions for changes or just report whether or not they were pieces of crap or not. And, so it's something I've always liked to do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What is it about wood then?
Wood, to me, as a material, I think is what you're asking. It's alive. And even when it's dried up and, everyone else would say it was dead, it's a living, moving material, and every single piece is different. If you get a piece of plastic, that's plastic. Metal, that's, it's wood is so unique. And if you turn the angle a little bit when you're making whatever, it changes everything about it. And it's just to me, it feels good to work with it.
Okay, so that's an interesting point. We live in a modern time where everything's new and fancy and machined and long lasting. I mean, what would you tell to someone? Why should they spend the money on something wooden that's made by a craftsman?
Well, I think that's a theme that I've gotten interviewing a lot of like high-end craftsmen, is people have lost the appreciation. If you want a table or a bed or something like that, you can just run down to IKEA, get something that's stamped out. And it's taking up a lot of the craftsmen's the market, and it's hard to get those commissions, get people to get things built. And I think taking the time to get something built that's going to last to your great grandchildren. I hope it's important to people, and I hope that desire for craftsmanship and skilled creation, the makers, I hope that comes back, and it's starting to, and I think people appreciate it, but it's not like it once would. I mean, once was. People, a lot of years ago, that's all you had. If you wanted something, you had to build it, and the craftsmanship, each joint, it took time and it's energy into that. And if any of you own any fine woodworking items, I mean, you could just look at that and I hope you could appreciate it. And I think a lot of people do. And I'm finding more and more all the time in my journeys doing this project.
One of my favorite pieces at my family's house is a wardrobe, standing taller than I can reach, high. And it's probably from the late 1800s. And it has, when you open the doors, it has a big, thick drawer in the middle, shelving. And why I love it so much is it's put together, slid all together, and you just put in the wooden pegs. Mm-hmm. And then the days when maybe the humidity's a little rough or it doesn't quite slide, you just rub a candle. And it all gets put together, and you can take it apart quite quickly, put it in the carriage, and get the heck out of town when the Russians invade.
Have you stepped through that and went to Narnia yet?
I can't talk about it.
Oh, shh. Yeah.
But I think that's one of my fascinations with wood is that you take something that is living, and it's a tree, and you make it whatever you need it to be, whether it's a twisting railing or a jar or a cup, or it's magnificent, and it's just so soulful beyond something that's just, pressed or cut or bent. And that's my appreciation.
And another project you were talking about from a tree, I'm writing a documentary film right now, and I hope it works out. And I want to follow a specific tree through the process of logging, making lumber projects, and having them delivered to the customer at the end, and just following that material. Andrea?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some questions from Mark, the original jack-o'-lantern. Asked, do you prefer a specific kind of wood to work with?
I do have a few favorites, but I'll always tell everybody my favorite piece of wood is the one I'm working on right now. I love oak. I love walnut. What was that?
Penis
wood.
That's the piece of wood I'm working
not
on
a big
right
fan.
now.
Not a big fan. But just like you, I prefer pussies around my house. Yeah, those are walnut and oak. I love doing those things. I love working with those. I fancy myself a wood turner. I love making bowls. I love the lathe as a tool. It's one of my favorites.
Von Hegner says, wood tells you how it wants to be handled. I agree with that.
It does. And
mine does.
One of the things I learned at the Krenov school down there is he was very much into reading the wood, and seeing what the wood wanted to be and paying attention to that, not forcing the wood, but going along with it. And you're right, it does.
Yeah, and Roughhead says you can make pipes from wood, you can cook with it, you can sit on it, drink from it. So, yeah, it is.
It's an amazing material. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you hate about wood?
Wow, I don't know. What do I hate about wood? It's expensive. Splinters, sure. It's expensive. It is an expensive material these days. A lot more than it used to be. Gosh, what do I hate about wood? Getting hit with it? Yeah, dropping it on my foot. It is kind of an unforgiving material. It moves. You build a set of drawers, and it expands and contracts with the humidity. And if you don't realize that or don't take that into consideration, it'll split, it'll crack. You have to know what you're doing.
Yes, you do. Are there any other questions, Andrea? Anything popping up?
Well, there's a lot of it. I mean, this is a pretty good subject, and it's not all talking about penis. Let's see. Lady Skipper says the tattooed remains of dead trees are called books.
True.
Yeah. Let's see.
There was a comedian one time that said tree houses are such a cruel thing. It's like killing somebody and having their friend hold them.
Oh, God, that's so sad. Let's see. There's all kinds of things. Ian says the wooden churches of Western Russia are still around centuries after they were first built using no metal nails. Pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
More forgiving, allowing movement.
Elizabeth likes when the wood moves, right?
I do, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a mover and a shaker. All right. So, okay, where are we? Who inspires you? Name me a couple of your heroes.
Well, James Krenoff was definitely one, and not just because I visited his school. He was a real passionate woodworker. He was a rock star, but he wasn't a rock star, if you know what I mean. There's other woodworkers like Maloof and Nakashima. Nakashima does a lot of the live edge stuff. The edges, the bark edges of wood is part of the tables and chairs and things. Those guys were rock stars and wanted to be rock stars. It was
they're wood stars. They don't work with rocks.
Fair enough. But you know what I mean? Krenoff was a woodworker for the sake of woodworking, and he was a great teacher. He wanted to pass that thing on. He wanted you to be great. And most of the instructors that I talked to down there, the director of the school, I talked to his longtime assistant, and they're all have that same sort of passion, you know. And, you know, I'm sorry, but my dad was my woodworking rock star. He was a tool thrower and a cusser, and you didn't want to get too close. But once he trusted you with his tools, he would teach you how to work. And that was awesome.
Nice. So when you're working, how do you know when a creation is finished? Like, how do you know when to walk away?
Usually sooner than you would like, if you're making mistakes. No, I mean, when you make a project, I mean, you know what you're trying to accomplish. You know, if you're making a chair, you know, there's steps and joints and design, and then you finish it and it's all polished. It's kind of like any other craft. It's, you know, when you're done. I mean, there's no secrets there.
Okay, follow up on that one, because I often build something, and as soon as I'm finished, oh shit, I could have done this, I could have done that. And do you often build another one just because you could have done this and you could have done that?
Well, yeah, because you can't build backwards. I mean, you can't, you know, and you don't want to tear it apart. It's like, but as a woodworker, and I think any craftsperson, a potter or, you know, whatever, you see all your mistakes. You know, you as a rule don't point them out to anybody, but you still see them. And it's like, well, and that's just learning from your craft, you know. And sometimes I build another one because it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I'm not a masterpiece builder by any means. I'm adequate at probably every part of woodworking, and that's why I stand in awe of some of these people that I'm interviewing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Cyrnic says, if you have a supply of material, would that be a wood stock?
Oh.
Well, I call my listeners the wood pile. So does that count? Yeah.
Okay, so when did you do you remember when you first fell in love with wood, or the first project where you said, okay, this is it?
Yes. I was big into sound and recording when I was a kid. In fact, I used to record television shows. And I was because it's so funny. And then I had a whole bunch of cassettes, and I built myself a cabinet that held all these cassettes. And that was the first time I built something that I remember. And I went, hey, I can do this. I remember when I was in high school taking wood shop, I made billy clubs, bats, and weapons for all my friends. Yeah. That got me in a lot of trouble, for sure.
You have friends that stand up for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Max RPG asks, what type of projects do you find young people are interested in to get them started?
I'm a Cub Scout leader, and I really look forward every year to the Build It projects. We made chests this year so the kids could put their stuff in it, and we put locks on it to keep their parents out of it. So I'm probably, I'm sure in these boxes will have all their porn and stuff like that in it. But do kids collect magazines anymore? No, I'm dating myself. I think it's all internet now. But
what the internet's for?
Yeah, exactly. The internet's for porn, right? Yeah. But no, and I like, and even my son. He talks about wanting to be a maker when he gets older, and he and I will build simple things. And he's still afraid of all the power saws and stuff, but we're getting there. I'm excited to see that go in him.
How old is he? Is he younger or
11? Just turned 11.
Nice.
He is a Taekwondo master. He is studying for his black belt right now, and he scares me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a saw; he can just chop it.
Exactly, and he does. He does that.
Very good, very good. So, what would you say to someone who wants to get into wood? What should they start with? How should they? Because I imagine all these tools, and it's quite expensive. So,
well, my main piece of advice for that is if you want to get into woodworking, pick out a project. Only buy the tools you're going to need for that project. And then when you move on to the next project, only buy the tools you need for that one. You don't have to have an entire shop to start with. Okay, if you have a whole bunch of money, awesome. And I've often helped people set up their shops, and that's the advice I give them.
Cernix asks, is there better types of wood that would use sorry, too much wood. Is there better types of wood that you would use to make a bed rather than, say, a table?
Well,
like different stuff.
Beds and not per se, because beds and tables, they're both structural objects. So, you're not going to want a really soft wood. Yeah. Especially depends on how much action your bed sees as far as how strong it has to be, right?
You don't want soft wood in bed.
No, you don't want soft wood in your bed. That happens when you get old eventually. But yeah.
Hard, limber.
Hard. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, hardwoods for doing all sorts of furniture and you guys can joke about that all you want, but those make better, chairs and furniture and stuff like that. Softwoods are great for non-structural things. Carving, if you're going to get into carving, you want a softer wood. It's easier to carve. But yeah, there's a lot, and it kind of depends on what you like.
Earlier in the chat, someone asked, do you normally work on one project at a time or multiple?
Oh, I'm hugely ADD. So I tend to have 10 things going at the same time myself. So, I'll start building a chair, then I'll get distracted by this shiny object over here, and I'll go turn a bowl or something like that. So, yeah, I tend to have multiple projects. Well, it depends if somebody's paying me for it. If somebody's paying me for it, if I have a customer, I've got to deliver it timely. I can't say, oh, I've decided to build this. You're just going to have to wait. That does not work.
No, it does not. Okay, here's a question.
Okay.
If you were a type of wood, what would you be? Or what would you be? Or would you would
What kind of would I be? Probably something really naughty.
Oh, I
You
thought you were
going
gonna
with
say
that?
gnarly. No.
Yeah, gnarly. Yeah, but it's probably more the case. Oh gosh. How about redwood? Because it's huge.
And it kills stormtroopers.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, since you brought that up, I went and visited the grove of trees where they filmed that on this trip.
Nice.
Yeah, I nerded out. It was awesome.
What's your favorite piece you've ever created, besides the one that you initially fell in love with?
My dad's urn.
Wow.
That
Good
was
answer.
that. Yeah, that was an honor. That was an honor to make that. Yeah, and his wife asked me to do that. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What's the what did you find it difficult to do? Or did you just kind of have a sense what you'd want?
It wasn't difficult in the sense, the craftsman sense. It was difficult in the emotional sense.
Yeah.
That there was a lot of emotional pressure that I gave myself. It was like, this has to be perfect,
Nice.
because I'm going to get one shot at that. Yeah. It was
Wow.
hard. There were tears.
Yeah.
And, even now, but it was such a neat project to get the honor of working on. Yeah.
Wow. Very, very spiritual. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me one you absolutely hated and you just like spit when you think about it. That was hard to do.
It's probably ones that I make and pour myself into, and then they go, that's not quite what I was looking for. I rebuilt a chair for a lady 3 times, and yeah, by the end of that, I absolutely hated that chair.
Do you charge them for each time you have to rebuild it?
No, you can't do that.
Really?
Yeah. No, you just kind of,
Well,
you can, but you kind of prototype it, and the things she was describing were not succinct design ideas. It was like, I want something a little more warm, and it was all very nebulous. And I said, that works well with like a painter. Okay, I'm going to make a painting that's this or that, but I want some real answers.
I'd have just left her sat in it and then set fire to it.
Yeah, it would have been warm.
Toasty.
One of the things that was fun
at Talk of the Tavern.
There you go. One of the things that was fun when I visited the school is they burn their prototypes on every Friday night. They have a gathering with all these people, and they come together and they'll burn their project prototypes because it's symbolic, and they move on to the next one, or to the finished piece. And we're sitting there and everybody's drinking beer, having a great time, and one of the guys throws a chair on there, and I was listening to these kids daring each other to sit in it. I have a video of the kid sitting in this chair, and then he jumps up and goes, "Ah!" And it's like, seriously, dude, what did you expect was going to happen with that?
It's beautiful. It's like
So
walking
I know
on fire.
somebody's
That's
beeping.
Yeah,
Elizabeth, I know
you.
you understand the maker thing. You're an artist and you create things. Do any of you other guys make things?
Mm-hmm.
I make women happy.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
Hey guys, we're about to take a break here for a refill, and then we're going to come back with This Week in History. So, hang out. and
Ciernik says that's how Burning Man got started. Sorry.
Yeah, very good. I like
and we'll
that.
be back in just a couple minutes, guys. So everybody get up, get a refill, and mute yourself as necessary.
All right.
Sit right back and relax, or get up and get a drink and refill what you have, while the cast and cohorts and co-hosts of Talk of the Tavern do the same. Now here's the testimony of some of the great people we've had on Talk of the Tavern or previously on Sounds of Steam. Enjoy.
This is Gail Carragher, author of The Finishing School and the Custard Protocol series, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Aiden Sivart, Steampunk Indiana Jones.
Hey, this is Scott.
This is Samantha.
And we're Frenching the Punk.
I'm Karen Kay, also known as the Fairy Lady and editor of Fame magazine and also founder of Fairy Events.
This is K.W. Jeter, author of Infernal Devices and Fiendish Schemes.
Kircher here. I play Bifur in the Hobbit trilogy, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Trevor Crafts, executive producer and creator of Lantern City.
This is Lord Bobbins of TeslaCon. Huzzah!
Steampunk Funk Bazaar here, Lord Monty right in front of your radio.
Hello, this is Professor Elemental. When I'm not taking a bath in gin or trying to invent a new kind of badger, I'm listening. Oh, yes.
This is Stephen Davis of Raising Steam UK, 2-day steampunk festival in Reading. Enjoy.
I'm Thomas Williford of Brute Force Studios, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Commander Bob of Victor Sierra.
Je suis la légendaire princesse convertie de Victor Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Valentine Wolf.
Hey, this is Braxton from Valentine Wolf.
This is Aileen the Peacemaker, the founding editor of Beyond Victoriana, the multicultural steampunk blog.
Hey, this is Joseph C.R. Vortek, otherwise known as Electro Swing Neo Vintage DJ Vortek, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern. I hope you come out of it in one piece. I'm not sure I did.
And don't forget about our other shows during the week. Tuesday, Middle Age Gamers on Wednesday, and Virtual International Pub VIP on Thursdays. Make sure you join us there, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rogers. I'm the organizer of the Copper Claw.
This is Calamity Dawn, mixologist of Airship Passepartout.
This is Commodore Lorpikar of Lost Saints Curiosities.
This is Jimmy Diggs of the Crypto Historians, reminding you that the future is in your hands.
This is Gabrielle Reel.
Hi, this is D. Clarence Snyder, writer of the Bright Future series, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Professor Marcus O'Bannon, the Chief Scientific Investigator for the Crypto Historians.
This is Lady Gatita of Nerdvana.
Hey, this is Angie Vello from Ghostfire.
This is Hannah Titania, Queen of the Fairies.
This is Jeff Platt of Highland Steamworks.
This is Danielle Ackley McPhail, co-author of Baba Ali and the Clockwork Gin, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern Radio.
Hi, this is John R. White, author of The Tales of the Airship Neverland.
This is Catherine Gleason, author of Anatomy of Steampunk, The Fashion of Victorian Futurism.
This is opera singer Katie
Bale.
This is Keith Prusak of Bad September.
This is Captain James Barrington of the mighty Claxton.
This is Emily Leverett, and I'm the editor of Big Bad and Anthology of Evil, Volumes 1 and 2, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hola Radio Escuchas, les habla Lady Smoke de Sociedad de Steampunk Argentina y Sindicato Dieselpunk.
This is Melanie Grace with Live Steamy.
We are Warren and Betsy Talbot of MarriedWithLuggage.com.
This is Christopher Meeker, author of Hawthorne, Chronicles the Brass Hand.
This is Mickey Wonderland, Steampunk Fairy Princess of Wonderland with a fresh cup of Mad Hatter tea.
Hi, this is Margaret McGraw, author of the prompt writing blog WritersSpark.com, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hello, this is Mishkin from Bird Eats Baby.
This is Nim Derringer of Airship Hypatia.
This is Painless Parker.
This is Persephone Burroughs Dimebagger, co-captain of the Airship Hypatia.
This is Psyche of Psyche Corporation.
Ahoy, me darlings. This is Misty Massey, author of Mad Kestrel, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
I'm Ellie Ann from Steampunk Homes, author of Slice of Life and The Silver Sickle. Hope you enjoy the show.
This is Captain Jared Cornwall at the Melanie Rose.
Hi, this is Lucy Luminos with Tinker the Web Series.
This is Travis Fessler, the steam-powered circus freak from the Pickled Brothers Circus.
This is Scott Norman of The Wars of Other Men.
I'm Mr. Cat of the Cat in Black Art, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Wendy Callahan, author of The Cronus Clock.
This is Daniel Burrow, creator of Tefra, the steampunk role-playing game. Cheers and gears and good gaming.
This is Tempest Wolf, actor and producer of Tinker Web Series. Tinker by name, Tinker by nature.
This is Shelley Dusick, the captain of Vandale Yukon, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Did you know Talk of the Tavern also publishes books? Make sure you look us up online or on Amazon.com.
This week in history.
What happened this week in history, Ed?
Yeah, shit happened, y'all. April 30th, 1952, Mr. Potato Head became the first toy advertised on network television.
Sexy.
Yeah! Yeah, sexy, yeah. Well, I just got back from Missouri visiting my niece and her husband and child.
Mm-hmm.
I had to watch Toy Story for a whole fucking week. 3-year-old, yeah.
Did you watch all of them or just one?
1 and 2 was what she liked the most.
Okay, so they are working on a part 4.
4, yeah.
And by the way, have you seen the original Mr. Potato Heads? They were literally a box of parts and no potato, because you would get real potatoes and put them on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So true.
27 years ago this week, the movie Toy Soldiers, starring Lou Gossett Jr. and a very young Sean Astin, premiered. I was in that movie.
Were you really?
Yeah, I don't know, the scenes with the guys rappelling out of the helicopters.
Uh-huh.
Yours truly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they used Virginia Army National Guard and Virginia State Police for those scenes.
I didn't know you were
awesome.
Famous.
Almost. 15 seconds, man.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
And 32 years ago, this past week, Geraldo Rivera hosted The Mystery of Al Capone's Vault. There wasn't a fucking thing in it.
No.
Good times.
We watched it.
Fake news?
No, that was...
No, that was no news.
That was just lame news. Yeah, no news would be better.
Yeah, something like that. Anybody got any current events? I got one.
I do. Do yours first.
Okay.
It just occurred to me, Travis, you could be Mr. Potato Head, one of your personalities, right? Because he has a mustache and a pipe. That would be fantastic.
I'd appreciate if nobody pinned in extra ears on my big potato head.
I know I was a Star Wars Rebels fan. Travis, I think you was a Star Wars Rebels fan.
Oh, yeah. I still have the third season waiting to watch it on DVD.
Okay, so following on the success of that, Disney is making another animated series called Star Wars Resistance. And this one is the time period before Force Awakens. So we'll see what they do with that. In your current events? Yeah.
My current events. Okay, a little backstory to this. See, I was a reporter for a small local paper. It's Lakeway Publishing. They actually have 3 local papers, and I'd write stories and they'd put it in any one of the 3, depending what area it was most current or relevant to. Now here, they stopped sending me, articles to do, so I stopped doing articles for them, and then a couple weeks ago, they were like, hey, you still want to do articles? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll work around other things I'm doing. And I got another email like that just the other day. But in the middle of last week, there is a new article that has been posted to Westmoreland News on the front page. Local white knights of the KKK drop packages at Colonial Beach homes. And then, instead of a photo, what they decided to put is the recruitment flyer for the KKK on the front page. So essentially, on this local paper, you have a quarter of the front page as a huge advertisement for the local KKK.
Cool, baby.
Now, the really sad part is this is probably going to get as much positive reaction in this local area as it will negative. So
that's sad. That's sad.
Yeah, it's Wake Up White America. Yeah, stop allowing these third world savages to walk all over your feet. Good times. Hey, Ed, did you know you're taking over my town? Did you know that?
Am I taking over your town?
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, you are.
Why am I taking over your town?
That's what they told me. I believe what I read in the paper.
When
I
you
like your
showed me
good
that couple
third
of
world
days ago,
savage.
Travis,
Yeah.
Yeah, savages. You, Kev.
My favourite bit of that whole article was this small byline at the bottom that said, "We in no way support or endorse the contents of this document, other than obviously printing it on our front page and therefore increasing its range from the 20-odd homes it was dropped at to our entire readership coverage across the entire state. But other than that, we do not support this at all."
Oh my God. See, and yeah, we don't support them either, but there is some interest. So at the bottom of this thing, right next to their little picture, it says, and is anybody horribly offended right now that I should not read what this thing says?
Fuck no.
Go for it.
No, I'm going for a laugh.
The blacks and Jews have pushed too far and will never stop pushing. Their day of reckoning is near. Multiculturalism and equal rights has failed miserably. And now it's up to the white man to save the world again. We're going to end this confusion. We are the final solution. Okay, you know what? If multiculturalism and equal rights failed, how does... we're going to save the world... It failed, so instead of encouraging it and helping it happen, we're going to just fuck the whole idea, kill them all. The fuck?
Well, if you're going to nitpick my writing, my God.
It's oh wait, Ed, it's time for the Negro. It's time the Negro apologized to us for, and then they have like 12 bullet points: sucking American businesses and consumers dry. Oh wait, there's more. With rampant shoplifting, theft, and armed robberies.
You've been a busy guy, Ed.
Yeah, I get around.
Yeah.
And that's what they're worried about. I get around.
Yeah, they're worried about that.
Another
I think
generation.
if you're going to take up for a town, it would be a better one.
That's a good point, actually. Oh. You know, and they have this one in the same bullet point. This is all one bullet point. Killing our police and constantly disrespecting our nation and history, crying about non-existent racism. I think they should have their own bullet point. I think they're selling themselves short on this one. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Stop crying, Ed. Serious. Stop crying.
Yeah, the local paper posted their whole recruitment flyer.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Phone number and everything.
But that's a good thing.
Go on.
Well, I'm listening.
You have our
Are you going to call it?
I respect the hell out of a man that's a KK member and will walk up to me and call me a nigger to my face because I know where I stand.
I suppose I see your point, Ed. Yeah, I suppose you'd far rather someone openly supported the KKK than believed all of their beliefs but kept it to themselves and was against you in private. Yeah.
I thought you were going to go the other way. It is free speech.
Well,
and
there's
that
too.
It doesn't mean we have to agree with it. Doesn't mean we have to like it. But
Ciernik says, "Wait, quote non-existent racism." End quote, from the most racist group that ever existed? Exactly.
Are they the most?
No. I think that's debatable, but I understand what he's saying. We can take
it's
number
one
two
of the
to
more
the
popular
Nazis or
groups.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the KKK rush when they have the all-white sale at Sears?
Wait a minute, you can't buy and sell whites.
That's illegal.
Only if they're children and sex slaves.
Oh, okay, hold on. Crossing off business ideas.
Are you checking to see if that domain name is available?
Whitetail?
Whitetail.com.
Hashtag.
So is this something we highlight and put on YouTube or not? I don't know.
No. No. I'm not writing that down.
Isn't it any publicity is good publicity?
That's another debatable.
Ask the newspaper.
What else happened this week, Ed?
Anybody got any weird news?
I do, and I am putting the link in the chat on Twitch. A library is shut down after stinky fruit mistaken for gas leak. The odor of the durian fruit has been compared to turpentine and onions garnished with a gym sock.
That stuff's illegal to bring in most planes and hotels, and
Yeah, things were out of odor. At a library in Melbourne, Australia on Saturday afternoon with fears of a gas leak. But the smell that aroused suspicions was not a leaky pipe. It was stinky fruit. 500 students and staffers were evacuated.
Is there a durian tree then? Do these things come from a tree?
Yeah.
So how's that
They are,
furniture? What do you make out of that wood?
Does the wood smell too?
I'll check in on it and let you know. That'll be episode 2.
There you go. Well,
Tag.
Sorry. Fucking auto-starting videos. Go on.
It says the sort of fruit-driven flight was surprised few who have come in contact with it. It's been compared to turpentine and onions garnished with a gym sock, hot poop garbage, and gasoline.
So my question is, what dumbass was the first one to went, I want to taste what that's like?
You know what?
Probably the same dumbass that ate the Tide Pod.
For that matter, who's the current dumbass that's like, no, I'd like more, bring that in?
Yummy turpentine.
I had the debate on the smell. Like, well, I don't know. Maybe a little nacho cheese, gym sock. No.
Well, people eat stinky cheeses.
Oh God, yeah.
True. Oh, come on.
True.
So I mean, maybe
A few years back, I worked in a restaurant where one of the cheeses available on the cheese board was called Stinking Bishop. And if you know anything about cheese, you know all good restaurants will take it out of a fridge and let it come up to room temperature for service because you never serve free cheese cold from a fridge. And every time we took this stuff out and warmed it for service, the whole kitchen would smell of wet, week-old socks.
God,
That was the reason I left the church, is that
Good
stinking
time.
bishop. Yeah.
Can't stand a stinking bishop.
No, I hate that.
Just wash, for goddamn.
That was my
You know what
job.
it's like to teach middle school.
Well, see, it doesn't say who brought the fruit in there, how it got there, how it was removed. It just says that stinky fruit was there. It wasn't a gas leak.
We
So
want the
that's-
facts. We want the facts, people. Seriously.
Yeah. So there you go.
Thanks for the cheer for that one.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Oh. That's it for me.
Hey, there's a good question. What's the worst thing that any of you have eaten?
You want her name?
No,
I
come
can't
on.
name her
Yeah.
here. I'll get in
Name,
trouble
yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Let's not take the easy joke. Seriously.
Okay, can I just call her by
Yeah,
her
she
family title?
What do you mean worse? Like foulest smelling, most disgusting tasting? What's worse? Define this.
Dealer's choice. What was something you ate that you would never ever try again? Okay.
Marmite.
Marmite. Ooh. There's whole countries that worship that stuff.
Yeah, Kevin.
What? Don't look at me. The whole advertising tagline for it over here is you either love it or you hate it.
Oh yeah, that's some nasty stuff.
Mine is a very common food, especially in the South. Not me. Liver.
Oh.
Some nasty
Come on,
shit.
Elizabeth.
Oh, you make me salivate now.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey,
All right,
Kev, good to you,
there's-
buddy.
I guess there's two, and just the first one would be fried pig snout. And it wasn't that it was just disgusting; it was very disappointing. And
No burgers were hanging off, so you were disappointed. Huh?
the other one was when I was playing underwater hockey, and we were in the middle of the game, and I threw up into my snorkel, and it only got about here high. And if I tried to empty it, the lifeguard would have seen it, and then the game would have been over because it's a biohazard. So I chose to suck it back in and swallow it and continue on in the game. And I don't know.
What had you eaten prior to that?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
And it was a little. I think it was beer and a sandwich with fries.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Well, on the same type of thing, Max
Started going down the first time.
Max says a spit cup that was out for 2 days.
Oh.
I've never tried that. I don't want to. But you said, what would you never try again? Never do it again.
Yeah.
Wow.
You doing
Sheep
that?
brain.
We also have duck and escargot listed up there.
Good.
I like escargot.
Escargot is it's okay.
It's okay.
So, Kevin, when did you eat sheep brain?
Probably about. That was when I was working at the Seaview, so 5, maybe longer than that, 6 or 7 years ago. Our head chef used to collect weird foodstuffs whenever he travelled around and bring them back and then force us to try them all in an attempt to expand our, if not appreciation for, then at least understanding of unusual food types. And yeah, he brought back a pickled sheep's brain, and we all tried a bit. And it was a texture thing. Yeah, the flavour was not that offensive. It was just the texture. I apologise to anybody who may have food in front of them at the moment, but the closest thing I can describe it to would be when you cough rather heavily and end up with a big solid lump of phlegm in the back of your throat. That was pretty similar in texture.
So like a raw oyster.
Well, see, that's the thing. I like oysters. I'll chuck raw oysters down all day long without being the slightest bit bothered by them. But there was just something about the particular texture of that brain. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was just the mental thought that it had been another creature's brain. You know, this is what that creature used to use for thinking and controlling its body. And but I don't know. Yeah, of all the. I mean, I've spent decades training my palate not to dislike things, because you have to try everything to check the seasoning's correct on food, even if it's something you wouldn't order yourself. So I suppose I'm a bit more tolerant than most people when it comes to what I will and won't try.
And that explains why there's a bite out of everything that Kevin sends out of the kitchen.
Quality control.
You thought it was the hot weather that had melted those orange club biscuits, Andrew. It wasn't. It's because I'd taken a little nibble out at the end of each one and melted them so you couldn't tell.
You know, the other thing is, and I love sushi. I really like sushi. I do not like uni, the sea urchin. I just can't get into that shit. It's like eating the dock. You know? It's just foul.
So
and I just people that love it. I can't.
You want to know what mine is?
Yes.
Balut.
What is that?
The duck embryo.
Oh,
it's duck. Oh yeah. Oh,
I know what that is.
That was hard to take a bite out of, but I'll try anything one time, food wise, you know. But no, never again. Oh, it was horrible. Yeah.
What did it taste like? What did it taste like?
Like a dead baby duck. Yeah, shit. Duck shit. Oh no, it was crunchy.
And turpentine and socks.
Oh, died in socks. Yeah.
Nightmares. It tasted like my nightmare. I don't think I could eat. I mean, I did silly do the goldfish and the drink in college at one time, but I don't really want to eat anything that's still alive or moving. And don't go for the easy joke, like Dan said, you know, like for dinner. I don't want to eat the half, you know, the Chinese will cook a fish and it's still flopping. And I have no interest in that.
Or when they pull the fish out of the tank for sushi, cut a few slabs out of it and put it. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Did you answer, Travis? What did you say?
He did not. He's avoiding the question.
I've never put anything in my mouth that I wouldn't put in a second time. I have preferences. I don't enjoy the texture of squid or octopus. It's a bit too chewy for me. But, yeah, nothing I can think of. There's probably been a few, you know, candies that are just nasty. Taste like cough drops or something. I can't think of anything in specific. I'm pretty particular about what touches my
Have you tried Marmite?
Nope.
It's so bitter and oh my goodness. Oh no.
I have family members like that if I need that.
How's that chocolate and peanut butter going?
Oh, it's fabulous, but there's so much chocolate.
That's what
Only
she
a
said.
half a ear.
Oh, it's a lint bunny.
Poor Thumper.
Moving on.
Yes.
Moving on.
All right. Before I move on, anybody else got any more weird news? And quick question, because it's going to take them like 5 minutes before they hear my question. Where did he go? Max RPG. Were you a squid, and what did you used to do while you were in? And I'll move on to the next thing. While deaths. Speaking of burning wood, and somebody mentioned earlier, Larry Hunter. He was the founder of the Burning Man Festival. Passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anybody else have any more deaths this week?
Not that I can.
Not this week, but give me another day.
Just raising a child.
Past week. And if not, I will move on to birthdays.
Feel free to move on.
All right, birthdays. April 29th, 1899, jazz great Duke Ellington. April 29th, 1957, actor Daniel Day-Lewis. He starred in what is my favorite movie, The Last of the Mohicans. Love that movie through and through. May 2nd, 1972, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Anybody seen Jumanji? Everybody's seen Jumanji, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
Nope.
it.
Yeah.
I have not.
Didn't think much of it, Travis?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. It was great fun.
I loved it.
Yeah, giggled my ass off the whole time.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. I bought it the day it came out just because, you know.
Did you? Okay.
I saw it in the
Alright.
theater, then picked it up. It's worth it.
In between watching the Toy Stories, we were able to squeeze in Jumanji while I was in. Yeah. May 3rd, 1933. Ha! R&B legend James Brown. And
I feel good.
Yeah, you do.
Just like I knew I would. Yeah. I'll stop. Yeah, exactly. Here, I'm doing that dance. You can't see my feet, but man, I'm going.
Show the underwear.
Nobody
and
wants to see
personal
that.
birthday shout out to one of my military bros, Eric Cox. Happy birthday, Eric.
And I do have
Anybody
some
else have
birthdays this week. Karen Kay, the fairy lady, who will actually be on the show. When is she on? The 24th of next month of May. We'll have her on. Rod Belcher, who was on a couple weeks ago. Monty, who was on a couple weeks ago. Eric John Larson of TeslaCon and Expectocon has a birthday tomorrow. And I think that's all I got. Make sure. Wait, today, Andrew Stainer, who is a member of. Give me a second. I gotta scroll up. Sorry. Nightwatch Paradox, who will actually be on the day after Cyrenix will be on. So the 22nd of May. So happy birthday to everybody who has one.
Happy
The rest
birthday,
of you,
everybody.
fuck you.
Happy birthday, everyone.
There we go.
And Max, cool. That's cool. Max says yes, he was a nuclear engineer. I'm going to guess, doesn't necessarily mean, but I'm going to guess he was probably on a sub. One of our former co-hosts, Ronnie Mexico, used to be a sub guy. Go ahead, Andrea.
Oh, Ian says Adolf Hitler shot himself this day in 45.
Woo!
With 45?
He's
Said
a winner.
In 45.
Way to win.
And he also got married, not the same year, but he also got married this same week to Eva Braun. Back in the day.
What was it? Gibbs on NCI said there's no such thing as a coincidence. Sorry.
Or to quote Alric Goldfinger from the Bond novels, once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, the third time is an enemy action. Yeah. Quote of the day.
There you go.
Welcome back, Kennedy. Hope you enjoyed your steamy stuff, your goggle making, or whatever you're doing. So are we done with This Week in History? Shall we move back to the topic?
Sure.
All right, good.
If it's wood, we're good.
I want to ask you a quick question there, Daniel.
Yeah.
So here, and I'm going to show it to both cameras, so the audience has two cameras. I have a snifter. So I understand this part here
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Done with a lathe, and this. How do you how do you curve it? How's that happen? And for everybody viewing in the other.
Well, a lathe, if you don't know, spins the wood really, really, really fast.
Right.
How you get the curve is just that's where you cut it. It's wooden pottery.
But
you mean the inside or the outside?
The top bowl. When you're creating a curve like this on the inside and out, how do you do that?
Very carefully.
Okay, move on.
Well, no, the lathe holds it by one side, and you put your tool in the hole, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not just going for the dirty joke there,
Right.
but literally, yeah, you spin it in like that.
So, I mean, the consistency of the wall thickness, that's just skill. I mean, assuming
That's
you have to have
skill. That is skill, yes.
a Dremel or something that's on a flexi cord.
No.
I mean, it's curved.
No, that's just placing the tool in and getting the right movement of the tool to dish out that inside, to cut out that inside. Now, since we're talking about lathe turning and stuff, a couple of weeks back, I interviewed a man that does lathe turning like that. Very skilled man. He's completely blind.
Oh, wow.
And his name is John Furness.
Devin.
He goes
Here's you.
by,
Thank you, Devin.
Oh, Devin
Cheers.
out. Oh, man, sleep well. Get those couple hours. And keep it safe
No,
at that
Devin, no.
donut factory you work in.
Bye, Devna.
Go on.
but he's a very skilled turner. He goes by the Blind Woodsman. Look him up on Instagram if you're. He just was fascinating, and lathe turning to me is. There's a lot of fear involved. That wood is spinning very, very quickly, and to be able to imagine, when he showed me how he does it, and to do that blind is just—it's beyond me. I don't get it, and I think I would personally be terribly afraid of doing that. But he's quite skilled and just really surprised me with what he could do.
Ed, did you have a question or a comment?
I can't remember. When we met you guys in Williamsburg, you said you guys have not actually been to Colonial Williamsburg?
Andrea and I'm guessing?
Yeah.
We went there one time. Well, we've been there for like the light extravaganza. They're fireworks in the winter type thing.
Uh-huh.
And we've gone there twice, but we haven't gone in anything that isn't a retail store there. So
Okay,
I don't feel like
go
we've
sometime.
Mhm.
Go sometime and go to not the cabinet maker shop, but go to the wood shop, and you will be truly amazed at watching them turn wood the old-fashioned way. It's absolutely incredible.
Now, is that with like the foot powered?
The foot power lathe,
Yeah, amazing.
and they just have, I don't know what it's called. It looks like a little chisel, and they hold it on there, and it's truly
called
amazing.
gouge.
Thank you.
Gouge. I mean, they all have names. Every one of these tools has a name, but yeah, it's probably gouge.
And real quick, if I can interrupt the whole show here, we have an April bit goal right on the top of your screen, guys. If you look at it, and we're at 72%, and this is the last day of the month. I don't expect we'll hit our bit goal this month, but I figured I'd point it out in case you guys wanted to.
Let's see if we can do it tonight.
Yeah.
Do
Watch
it.
videos.
Seriously,
Amen.
if you're watching, do it. Just do it.
Now,
Do it.
Ian
Do
says,
it.
I was gonna Tim Yoder is pretty entertaining for wood turning, but a blind wood turner trumps that.
Yeah, Tim Yoder is very skilled and a great person on YouTube. Another one I want to get a shout out to is Frank Howarth. Frank Makes. Check him out. Amazing stuff. And go to my show. It's wood.com. Plug.
And that's interesting because why would you ask people to go to your show? What is your show providing people that others don't?
Yeah.
Gosh. You got hard questions. What did I ever do to you?
Yeah, it's
why my show? Hey, I just got awarded the 2018 Renewable Resource Award for the best woodworking podcast. So there, and there was probably like one other entry maybe. But anyway, what does my show give you? I'm out there capturing these stories of these craftsmen. It's inspirational. If you're a part-time woodworker or a maker of any kind, listening to some of these stories, they're fascinating. Whether I'm talking with a brand new woodworker or somebody that's done it 60, 70 years, they're just craftsmen. They're makers. They're very creative people. So, there's not a lot of shows out there like this. There's a few, but I'm not out there trying to teach anybody anything. That's not this project. This is just stories.
Nice.
I've seen some great woodworking where they've built little cogs and gears, and everything's completely out of wood. Mm-hmm. What's the most fascinating thing you've come across or made?
I just met a woman who makes wallets out of wood.
Oh.
And all the hinges and everything is all pieces of wood. The hinges are all wood. In fact, I bought one and gave it to my best friend for his birthday. Gosh, I look at every one of these people and what they're doing is just amazing to me, and the skills that are involved. Woodworking is one of those things you could be a hack, but when you meet a real master, it's stunning, the artwork that is involved in some of this.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Yeah,
Kennedy. So yeah.
Kennedy! Okay, do you have one of your favorite stories or interviews that you've done besides the blind lady?
Yeah, that had to be up there. But one of them was a gentleman by the name of Terry Bostwick. And he's a very high-end art furniture designer. He was big in LA, and he moved up here. And he was one of those people affected by the drop-off of craftsmanship, and that I was talking about earlier. But his skills are shocking. He showed us a console table that he made, and it's carved with rivers, and his inspiration is outdoors and the Columbia River Gorge, which is gorgeous. Anybody out there should come and visit this area. It's beautiful. But just talking to these people and where they pull inspiration from is just amazing to me.
And real
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Real quick, Kennedy says I didn't quite know how to give bits. I see you figured it out. And also, if you're budgeting carefully in your world, you can go watch videos to get bits for free that then you can throw. And for each video you watch and interact with, you'll get 5 to 100 bits that you can then throw at your favorite Twitch people. Okay.
Unless you're me.
Unless you're me.
He's got a pop-up blocker.
It's not. We've established it's nothing to do with my pop-up blocker. I've tried running it with it, without it. I even uninstalled the blocker and tried it. It just will not let me watch videos for bits.
Just don't like your bits.
Could be.
Just doesn't like the look of my bits, Ed.
Anybody else listening from overseas tonight? I can see if it's just Kevin or else if it's everybody over there. Yeah, let us know. Anyhow, okay. Elizabeth, were you about to ask another question? I'll hush.
I was gonna say, what's the strangest interview you ever went on or had, or you expected one thing and you got something completely different?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. You're taxing my old brain.
Yeah, you'll pull it out.
I've been really lucky that I haven't, because we all get, you guys interview people that's what you do, and that's what I do. But I've never run into one yet where it was an interview that I had to trash. It was like, oh God, there's no redeeming value in this. I can't, this is only used for the highlight reel. But I've had people in past projects where it was, you couldn't get these people to talk. And I usually try to talk to people on the phone or communicate with them for a little while before I put them on to see, they can't tell a story. One of the gentlemen I just interviewed on this trip to California, really was not much of a talker, and it was a hard interview. He had good stories, and he answered the questions, and it's definitely usable stuff. But yeah, sometimes they're a lot more work than you can imagine.
I can imagine a lot.
Tell us how
you
you really feel. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's fantastic, though. But you, I know you. I've known you for a few years now, and you kind of have that storyteller ability to not only capture someone's attention, but also draw people out. And so I think that's part of what takes to
So
get.
should we nerd out, Elizabeth, and tell everybody where that storytelling comes from?
Go ahead. Let's splinter off into a new direction.
I'm an extreme nerd, and I've played Dungeons and Dragons since the game was
bungee
written. Bungee jumping?
Well,
That's not where it came from.
No,
but
playing D&D while bungee jumping, that'd be an extreme nerd, right?
Okay.
We'll have to try that. We'll have to try that someday. No, and I met Elizabeth in Fresno, California when she was going to school down there, and she joined our game and was one of the best people I've played Dungeons and Dragons with, because you got an illustrator in your game, and it was awesome. And looking through her notebooks, but it's one of those things that if anybody's not familiar with playing D&D, it's shared storytelling, and if you're playing with people that can carry the story, it's such an experience. And I just celebrated my 40th year of playing this game. And we played the original game that we played in high school when it was released again, and that was so much fun.
Okay. Question.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Have you built your own D&D table?
Yes, I have, and in fact, I'm designing a new one. That the D&D table I have is built so that I can project the maps down on top of it. I have a digital projector. It's all a grid, but this table the new table I'm building is based around a 70-inch digital TV. That's going to be the tabletop, so I can put the maps on it. But I have a CNC machine, which is a computer-controlled router, carver, and I'm building dragon heads and stuff on the legs, and yeah, it's going to be stunning. And each workstation where each person plays has a tablet built into it so they can move their person around on the screen. Yeah. Nerdgasm.
Indeed.
Oh,
nice.
I want to change. I have to change here. Did you?
You'll have to move. Yeah.
Did you ever make dice? I know they're.
Tiny. I haven't. I'm trying to figure out how to do it because I've seen wooden dice, but
really?
I honestly don't know the equipment that's required to get those perfect facets.
Probably like
you
a
can
laser
always
cutter.
go to the Google. The Google tells you everything.
Go to the YouTube. Yeah.
The Google. You know the Google.
Yeah.
Google. I hired
to make wooden dice. Hey, somebody out there do it. Tell me if it's out there.
I can't imagine a 20-sided. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I need to see this table. You have to make sure you send us photos and video when you get it done.
When I get it done, there will be a YouTube video on it. Guarantee it.
Is this in production right now?
I'm doing the 3D modeling and stuff for it.
Wow.
So do you do?
So it'll be on sale.
No, I don't think it's something anybody would want to pay me for because it's going to be a pretty extreme tape.
So
you should place your orders early.
Mm-hmm. Put it out there for $5,000. Somebody's going to buy it. But
5?
Yeah, what?
10.
Well, whatever.
10.
Somebody's going to pay that much. Yeah. So when you design things, do you do all 3D modeling now, or do you still have the old graph paper and pencil beside you?
Oh, no, I tend to draw a lot of sketches for stuff like that. But if I have to do something for the CNC, it has to be digital models.
What's a CNC?
It's a computer numeric controlled device that carves, and it's 3-axis. or I have another piece that turns the wood slowly, so I can do complete 3D models.
Oh.
This is a new toy I just bought myself.
Oh, see, I don't even know these things exist.
Kennedy wants to.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Kennedy wants to know: do you know the log song?
The one from Ren and Stimpy?
I know that one.
I don't know. That's the only one I can think of.
Is that the one? Probably the one. Yeah, log into it. Yeah.
You
yeah,
gotta
it's
sing
big,
it
it's
with
heavy.
feeling.
No, I'm not gonna sing it. Nobody deserves that.
One rolls upstairs, rolls over in Paris, rolls over your neighbor's dog. This for a second, it's on your back. Log, log, log. It's log, it's log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, it's log. It's better than bad, it's good. Everyone wants a log. Come on, it's your log. You all want a log. A log, log, log.
So why does that result not surprise me at all? Yeah.
Mark the tape.
Elizabeth, I've missed you a lot.
I'm around. If you
Yeah.
just need a little pickle.
If I can interrupt real quick, we have one comment, which I'm going to read first, and then a question. Kennedy says, I'm friends with Bob Camp, co-creator of Ren and Stimpy. Kennedy, just put us in contact. We need to bring him on and have a good time with him. But Cyrenix says, do you feel the log lady from Twin Peaks helped or hurt your cause?
I haven't been through enough therapy to really answer that question. And thank you so much for bringing that up.
Do you want to explain this to me? I've never seen Twin Peaks at all.
No.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. I can use the Google.
There you go. Andrew
yes,
would
Kennedy,
be proud.
that's awesome.
Yeah, Kennedy, tell him if he wants a good time, and explain to him how the show is, so he doesn't think it's just straight up interview that we wander. But anyhow, that's enough of that. Now we're going to talk to Daniel. Hi, Daniel. What are you wearing underneath your shirt?
Yeah, Daniel.
Chest hair.
I'm not.
Have you made anything for Carrie, his wife?
You know, I'm about to put hardwood floors in the bedroom for her. And this was a project that she devised while I was on my trip. Yeah. But no, I've made bookshelves for her and things like that.
Ever
Probably
made,
not
a wooden
enough.
rose?
She gets my wood all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever made your wood in the shape of a flora or fauna and handed it to her?
No.
You're
I have
very
not.
precise. No. Ask me
No.
something else.
Moving on. Yeah.
Are the floors going to be dark or light?
Dark. She painted the bedroom blue. And I was kind of surprised when I came home. Yeah. But that's my wife. It's like, why bother ask? Don't ask. Because then you might say no.
Don't worry, Kennedy. In the third hour, we're going to wander into that territory. Kennedy says this is the best setup interview topic ever. So yeah, third
Kennedy
hour.
likes wood. Kennedy likes wood.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
He's probably
Yeah,
played
well.
with his share of wood.
Yeah.
So, Elizabeth,
See,
with her
you start out as a young guy. You do a lot of work with hardwoods. Oh my God, we're gonna see the board. Oh, that was a teaser. That was a teaser. See, then when you get my age, you deal a lot with softwood.
Yeah. Especially if you hang around drinkers.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, me too.
Might as well,
Hey.
right?
Everybody, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, the link just popped up. Sign up so you know what's coming up every week.
Yeah, it's only once a week. It's pretty basic, but it lets you know the topics, guests, as well as a few videos from the previous week in case you missed the good tidbits.
Awesome. I don't have a newsletter. I should have a newsletter.
Daniel, I'd really recommend it, and if you want to talk off air, I'll gladly help you with that, because what you're doing, you're getting a guaranteed audience that's interested because they signed up for the damn thing. So Yeah, that it's nice, and that way, especially do you with your show, is it like every Thursday or first Monday of every month?
Brand new show every week on Fridays. New one goes up.
So there you go. It's one of those things where you can let them know who's on the week before or right after. Whenever you do, whatever. If you're doing a tour, I'll be in these towns if you want to buy me a drink or touch my wood.
There you go. If it's wood, we're good. And I thought about when I was driving down to California, I had a lot of time to sit and talk with my friend trapped in a car. And we decided that I should do a spoof show called If It's Plastic, It's Fantastic.
That's great.
Good time.
And I'm honestly, I'm considering doing it just for the hell of it.
Kennedy just asked, will Jess be at COGS? I don't know who Jess is. Which Jess are you talking about? And then once you answer that, really, I don't know any Jess going. So my answer would have to be no or I don't know. Buy him a drink.
So I have to ask, what is COGS?
COGS Expo is, how familiar are you with the steampunk community?
Not greatly. I know what it is, and I'm in fact building a computer for a steampunk guy.
Okay. It's Steampunk World's Fair was an East Coast convention for many years, and it collapsed like a flan in the cupboard. Another convention stepped forward, same time, same place, totally unassociated, which is a wise move on their part. And it's COGS, which is, let's see if I can remember it. Basically, it stands for, it was put together by the community.
Community organized something, I think.
Good plug. Very accurate.
Yeah, they're going to be on Wednesday, on our show Wednesday, to talk about it because it is this upcoming weekend. And they've done a hell of a job pulling it together. Comments now. See, Ian says, forming my wood fauna would require mad balloon animal skills. And Roughhead points out that
I can help you there, Ian.
Woodpunk.
I don't have many skills in life, but being an accomplished balloon modeler is indeed one of them.
Is it really? Do you have any balloons on you?
Do you know? I'm just thinking. Have I got any modeling balloons in the house? Leave me with that. Let me think.
Okay.
I don't think I do.
Another 10 minutes, or another 10 minutes or so. We're going to go into another break, and maybe you can go grab your balloons.
I bet Kevin's really good at making snakes, right?
Yeah, they're the easiest kind of balloon model to make. Yeah,
Daniel,
you may not know this, Dan, but Kevin has a lot of snakes in his house.
Let me tell you about this steampunk computer that I'm building.
Oh yeah,
it's made out of a 1912 sewing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
The cabinet, with the old treadle sewing machine. But when you pump the treadle, the monitor comes up out of the back.
Oh, awesome!
Oh.
It's going to be fun. And a big knife switch on the side to turn it on. And the keyboard, I'm actually making a keyboard out of an old typewriter, with the metal glass keys. Yeah. It's a long-term project, and it keeps getting. It's one of those ones that keeps getting shoved to the back because they've given me no money for this. So,
Kevin,
Yeah, I just got a quick question that goes back to something that was said much earlier on near the start of the show. So there was mention earlier about how easy it is to buy furniture these days. Something that's been essentially cut by a machine 1,000 times. Everything's identical. You can slot it together at home in minutes. Given the ease with which you can obtain furniture now compared to, say, for example, 100 years ago, how much more difficult is it to get young people interested in making things with wood when they see how easy it is to just go and buy it ready-made for them off of a shelf in a hardware store? Is it more or less difficult or about the same?
Well, part of it is these opportunities to learn those skills are disappearing. Our high school wood shops, our junior high wood shops are disappearing in lieu of computer programming and
Same
all
in
of
this
these
country.
high tech, exactly, and these high tech skills. And not that those aren't valuable. I was a started programming when I was 12. I mean, I understand that, but I don't say one is a better skill than the other. And I think opportunities are getting harder and harder and harder to come by and just learn these if you can't learn them from your dad or your grandfather like I did, because people aren't, continuing with these skills. So, dads aren't builders, and so it's harder to pass on those things. So you're having to go to private schools, like the college I was just at, or private woodworking schools, and they're very expensive. So yeah, it's harder to learn those things. And that's why, like with my Cub Scouts, I feel it's very important to expose them to those skills. Do all of them want to do that? No. But if the chance to learn these things isn't out there and readily available, you're not going to have as many
one's
people.
Going to, yeah.
Exactly.
So the reason I ask is I have in my, Travis and Andrea, you've seen this, I have a grandfather clock in my hallway. The actual clock mechanism isn't working at the moment, but I've kept it despite the fact that it's not working, because my great-grandfather was a carpenter by trade. And the case that encloses the grandfather clock, the wooden part of the clock, was his journeyman piece. It was what he had to make and be approved of by the business he was apprenticed to before they would allow him to end his apprenticeship and take on a full job. And I've kept it partly because of the family link, but also as a reminder, and I've said this to my kids as well, that you need to remind yourself at regular intervals that a lot of what you take for granted that's given to you ready done on a plate these days, things that are made for you or things that are made easy for you, it's only a very short space of time ago that there was a great deal of effort required to make things like that. And these days you rock up for a job interview, and if your grades are good and you're half decent at carrying a conversation in an interview, you end up with a job. He was apprenticed for nearly 5 years, and then had to make something like that from scratch himself before he was allowed to go near the most basic of jobs as a full-time worker on the floor of the shop. So I keep it as a reminder that we tend to take things a little bit too easy, too taken for granted these days.
Yeah, and if you're at all interested, I would love to see a picture of that. So my email is easy to find on my website. I'd love to see what that piece.
I'd be more than happy to send you a picture. It's by no means the greatest grandfather clock ever. It's a very simple piece, a very simple case, but it was something he made with his own hands.
Are you going to be looking at getting the clock mechanism repaired so you can actually use it?
It is something I want to do. I've got all the parts required to make it work. I just need somebody to put it back together and make it work for me. It actually used to belong to my grandmother, his daughter.
And I think those are also the clock making skills are disappearing because we all have our phone or our watch, digital clocks. It's not that something that people pursue anymore. But
not to mention how hard it is to get parts for them now since the interest.
I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you can't find watch cogs and springs anywhere. All the bloody steampunks have turned them into jewelry.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. There's a discussion.
Have you seen the keyboard they have on Amazon now? It looks like an old typewriter.
Yes.
And for a low price of $1,000, it can be.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
I'll take 6.
Yeah.
I
got those links came across my Facebook or something, and I was looking at them going, that's exactly what I'm building though. And I'm taking an old functioning typewriter, which I guess is a bad thing. I'm going to cut it all apart and make a keyboard out of it.
It's ongoing.
I think there's a great reward, isn't there, though, from creating something with your own hands from scratch. You get a sense of fulfillment from that. It doesn't matter how, you can go and buy the greatest example of a product off the shelf. You can pay top dollar for whatever is the latest all singing, all dancing version of whatever. And it's never going to fill you with a sense of fulfillment like a much simpler, cruder version you made from scratch with your own hands.
But I think, I think makers of any kind like that, though, get that. And that's what makes them a maker. I don't think
that's what worries me. Not just that we are losing these vital skills because, as you rightly say, there's fewer and fewer people making those skills available to learn to younger generations. But also that just in general, the younger generations are losing that appreciation for the amount of work that goes into, or used to go into, depending on the product, used to go into creating something like that with your own hands. And now when it's all shrink wrapped and bubble wrapped and ready packaged and it's $9.99 off the shelf and assembled in your own home in 5 minutes, they've lost the appreciation, not just the skill on how to make it, but the appreciation for a product somebody else has made. Because now they know everything is, like you say, tooled and dyed and cut by machines, 1,000 coming off the line every hour. Whereas before, when somebody presented you with something like a nice piece of wooden furniture, you appreciated it not just for the aesthetic value of the furniture, but for the effort that had gone into the craftsman making it in the first place.
Yeah. And then when you tell somebody, they want a side table, say, oh, that's, that'll be $800. They choke. But it's like, I'm not even making, $4 an hour, $5 an hour to do that.
Yeah.
People expect everything to be instant and easy.
If I can interrupt real quick, it's time for a refill break. So we're going to take a quick break and come right back in our third hour. So we'll be back. Everybody, make sure you mute yourselves so we don't entertain them with our background stuff.
Sit right back and relax, or get up and get a drink. While we ask co-hosts of Talk the Tavern do the same. Here's the testimony of great people we've had on Talk of the Tavern or previously on Sounds of Steam. Enjoy.
This is Gail Carragher, author of The Finishing School and the Custard Protocol series, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Aiden Sivart, Steampunk Indiana Jones.
Hey, this is Scott.
This is Samantha.
And we're Frenching the Punk.
I'm Karen Kay, also known as the Fairy Lady and editor of Fae Magazine and also founder of Fairy Events.
This is K.W. Jeter, author of Infernal Devices and Fiendish Schemes.
Kircher here. I play Bifur in the Hobbit trilogy. And you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Trevor Crafts, executive producer and creator of Lantern City.
This is Lord Bobbins of Teslacon. Huzzah!
Steampunk Funk Bazaar here, Lord Monty right in front of your radio.
Hello, this is Professor Elemental. When I'm not taking a bath in gin or trying to invent a new kind of badger, I'm listening. Oh, yes!
This is Stephen Davis of Raising Steam UK, 2-day steampunk festival in Reading. Enjoy.
I'm Thomas Williford of Brute Force Studios, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Commander Bob of Victor Sierra.
Je suis la légendaire princesse convertie de Victor Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Valentine Wolf.
Hey, this is Braxton from Valentine Wolf.
This is Aileen the Peacemaker, the founding editor of Beyond Victoriana, the multicultural steampunk blog.
Hey, this is Joseph C.R. Vortek, otherwise known as Electro Swing Neo Vintage DJ Vortek, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern. I hope you come out of it in one piece. I'm not sure I did.
And don't forget about our other shows during the week. Tuesday, Middle Age Gamers on Wednesday, and Virtual International Pub VIP on Thursdays. Make sure you join us there, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rogers. I'm the organizer of the Copper Claw.
This is Calamity Dawn, mixologist of Airship Passepartout.
This is Commodore Lorpicar of Lost Saints Curiosities.
This is Jimmy Diggs of the Crypto Historians, reminding you that the future is in your hands.
This is Gabrielle Reel.
Hi, this is D. Clarence Snyder, writer of the Bright Future series, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Professor Marcus O'Bannon, the Chief Scientific Investigator for the Crypto Historians.
This is Lady Gatita of Nerdvana.
Hey, this is Angie Vello from Ghostfire.
This is Hannah Titania, Queen of the Fairies.
This is Jeff Platt of Highland Steamworks.
This is Danielle Ackley McPhail, co-author of Baba Ali and the Clockwork Djinn, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern Radio.
Hi, this is John R. White, author of The Tales of the Airship Neverland.
This is Catherine Gleason, author of Anatomy of Steampunk, The Fashion of Victorian Futurism.
This is opera singer Katie Cat.
This is Keith Prusak of Bad September.
This is Captain James Barrington of the mighty Claxton.
This is Emily Leverett, and I'm the editor of Big Bad and Anthology of Evil, Volumes 1 and 2, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hola radioescuchas, les habla Lady Smoke de Sociedad de Steampunk Argentina y Sindicato Dieselpunk.
This is Melanie Grace with Live Steamy.
We are Warren and Betsy Talbot of MarriedWithLuggage.com.
This is Christopher Meeker, author of Hawthorne, Chronicles of the Brass Hand.
This is Mickey Wonderland, steampunk fairy princess of Wonderland with a fresh cup of Mad Hatter tea.
Hi, this is Margaret McGraw, author of the prompt writing blog WritersSpark.com, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hello, this is Mishkin from Bird Eats Baby.
This is Nim Derringer of Airship Hypatia.
This is Painless Parker.
This is Persephone Burroughs Dimebagger, co-captain of the Airship Hypatia.
This is Psyche of Psyche Corporation.
Ahoy, me darlings. This is Misty Massey, author of Mad Kestrel, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
I'm Ellie Ann from Steve.
Time for the roll call for our late night, inappropriate, slightly intoxicated, and very naughty music hour. This is where the faint of heart swoon, parents put children to bed, and things heat up and get steamy. So pour another drink and strap yourself in. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Okay, and before we wander off on a half dozen different topics, I do want to go ahead and do a few things here. I'll get to the comments in the chat in just a moment, and then I'll get us rolling again. But I do want to point out once again that I have updated the store, so if anybody wants patches or pint glasses or flasks or inappropriate t-shirts, we're here for you, and I will post that link to the store.
Or pillows.
Or pillows. It's look at it, he's got his whiskey out. There we go. It's
Cheers.
So do I.
Let everybody know. Don't forget, if you have Twitch Prime, which means you've linked your Twitch account and your Amazon Prime account, that you can subscribe to our channel for free. It gives us a couple bucks, helps us out. We are down to 13 subscribers, and I have made a plan. When we get to 25 subscribers, we'll have a special episode that's a tea party. When we get to 50, I'll do a storytime show where I get a few other artists or authors that have done children's books, and we'll read them on air. And the third hour, we'll read inappropriate stuff. Put the kids to bed. When we hit 100, thank you, Sarah.
Just
subscribe.
That. Thank you.
When we get to 100 subscribers, I am going to do a 12-hour show that is all cats. I will just put the cat toy in the room, set up the camera, and let it roll for 12 hours, which I've seen people succeed on Twitch that way.
Wow,
and
cat videos. That's new. That's a new thing.
I have
cat
seen
videos.
Just the camera on a cat bed where the cat is sleeping, and that's their whole Twitch stream. And they'll have hundreds of people watching. Go figure.
Well, and every once in a while, I'll go in with the red dot.
There we go.
Ooh.
And when we hit 250 subscribers, which is at least a week away, if not more, I will set up a 24-hour broadcast where we're on air for 24 hours. Not all of us, for all 24 hours, will take shifts. So that's your inspiration to, when you're at your friend's house and they're on their computer, when they walk out of the room, subscribe to our channel real quick for them.
So, Elizabeth, we could do a 24-hour D&D game.
I'm in.
I mean, I'll sign up for that one.
We could.
We can do that.
I'll DM it. You bet.
I can get a dozen people. That way we could play it in shifts also and get 3 DMs to go in and create a plot thing. Tavernathon, absolutely.
Yes, Tavernathon.
You don't have much faith. You don't have much faith in our games.
You don't need a shift, baby. I'm old. I used to do weekends, but not so much anymore.
I've done 24-hour games before. It's been a few years. Let's see. What are comments? Yeah?
No, I was saying, Elizabeth, we still go camping and play D&D. Remember that? That?
How can I forget? That was fucking fantastic. Yeah, baby.
Kevin?
I'm still playing with my camera. Sorry.
Kevin, Ian said to you a lot of that has to do with region as well. In Amish country, it's second nature, and there's a decent interest in owning Amish-made furniture. Kennedy points out a few things here. I got to see Patek Philippe exhibit, and watchworkers were amazing in New York City. Favorite thing he's made is the steampunk goggles. Feel free to post a link to a picture if you have one. Ian points out the Penn Steamies used to hold events at the National Watch and Clock Museum. I remember that. And Cyrnix says quality is not made from compressed wood, and Kevin did answer, answered Ian, I'm glad to hear there remains some appreciation for handcrafted items in the world. I feel today these skills are something we learn from history books, not teachers. And by the way, folks, that also goes for the written word as we teach computers to imitate the masters of the past in art and writing. So let's see. Did I drink for 24 hours? The amount of money donated for certain shots. Dollar equal watts 20. Oof, no. Oof. I'd have to have a line.
We might have to do that in shifts.
Yeah, that would definitely need shifts. Now, I was hanging out with Dez, who's not on tonight, this weekend at the party, and he kept on checking Twitch on his phone because Ninja and I think 3 or 4 other Twitch streamers were doing a stream for charity, and within just a handful of hours, they had over $200,000 collected for charity.
Awesome.
So
we can be that charity.
we're a charity, aren't we?
We are a charity.
Charity cake.
Care in the community.
Yeah, if I can add something,
please
one of the things you were talking about, the craftsmanship and stuff like that, and anybody that can hear this, go make something. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be wood. It could be jewelry, a drawing, a story, a poem. Create something. Try it. You might find the fire of your life. You really should try it.
Yeah, anything. It's amazing. Yes, Ed?
I want to add to that because I can't remember if it was pre-show or if we were actually on the show. Travis, you were talking about the cigar or the pipe stands you used to make.
Right.
And yeah, what he said, if you want to build something as a novice, very, very, very novice carpenter, if you want to build something, watch a YouTube video, whatever, do it. There's nothing like, as he said earlier, the satisfaction of when you're done with it, stained, whatever you're going to do, sitting back is like, I built that. As somebody that's been working on the wood floors in this house since July 5th of last year, it's great. As I finish a little bit more and more and more, it's like, wow, I did that. You know, cabinetry, wood floors, we've done it all. Travis knows, he's been here.
Yeah.
We've done it all, and it's awesome. Is it perfect? No, but you did that. It's awesome. It's great.
This is one of the pipe racks I made, and if you see it up now, people walk in and they compliment me on the pipe racks, but I know the level of quality versus a skilled person. But even something as simple as this, and it holds my pipes. It's functional. It's a sense of pride and creativity, and it doesn't have to be a work of art to be a work of art. And by the way, I'm going to show this to these guys. There's a little rat miniature that I keep up on my pipe rack, just because I haven't put it away yet. It's been here for years.
And I'm sure people out there, well, I don't have a shop full of tools and I don't want to go drop hundreds of dollars. You know what? There are organizations out there in most major cities that have shared spaces where you can go and you can use their tools after you pass a simple safety class, maybe. And you can build things, and they'll help you. They'll teach you. They'll step you through these projects. There's no excuse. I'm sorry, there is no excuse.
We have a wonderful care in the community organisation here in the town I live in called Aspire, which they set up in an old church building that had fallen into disrepair that wasn't being used. And they have a wonderful scheme that they call Men with Sheds. And what they've done is they have quite a large garden area that's not used for a large period of the week apart from at weekends. So what they did was they allocated an area of their outside and they built 10 garden sheds. Not big areas, not giant workshops, just the same kind of shed you might find in your average British guy's back garden. But what they do is all the guys who live in blocks of flats or other places where they don't have an outside area, they don't have anywhere they could create a workspace, they can rent time in a shed. And the sheds are equipped with a basic set of tools, a workbench, etc., etc. And these guys can go down there and they can hire these sheds by the day or by the hour. And all the money that's raised from the hire goes towards helping the charity do all the other stuff it does, like food for the homeless and schemes for the elderly and stuff. And it's such a wonderful idea because they opened it up wondering whether anyone was going to make use of it. And now if you want space in one of those sheds, you've got to book it months in advance.
Yeah, those kind of organizations are amazing. And I got to interview a guy this week when I was in California that's building a shared space like that. And he's so excited to do that. And I can't wait to hear how it turns out.
Yeah. And Cyrenix says, I make music. Creation of your own skills is very satisfying. And keep in mind, it could be something as simple as cooking. Cooking is an art. You know, we all eat.
Oh, God.
But cooking is an art. Your garden.
People have said to me so many times over the last 2 decades, the job that you work in, it's long hours. I've retired more or less from being a professional chef now, moved into management. But they've said to me, it's long hours, it's crap pay, it's hot, dangerous working conditions. You're working with sharp implements all the time. You know, you're tired, you're constantly under pressure. The money's not brilliant. Why on earth do you do that for a living? And the answer is the adrenaline buzz. Every time I send a plate of food I've created that looks $1 million out the door, knowing the reaction I'm about to get from a customer when that hits the table, there is no buzz in the world like that. And I'm sure that's exactly the same for every kind of craftsman, whether you're working with wood, with plastic, with words, with music, whatever your particular forte is. That jolt of adrenaline when you produce something and then send it out to the world to be appreciated by other people is second to none.
You know, and the depreciation of craftsmanship is the same thing. You know, a frozen meal versus, you know, something you throw in the microwave versus the skills that you used, you know, to create food. It's the same thing. I mean, creating is creating.
This past weekend, we had the cocktails and conversation, and I was working the grill, and we shopped thrifty, and I picked up steaks, but I picked them up for like less than hamburger. And it was a whole steak. They cut it to the size I wanted. And we picked up boneless chicken breast. And we picked up some sausages, spicy Italian sausages. And Elizabeth walks into the room. She's like, Travis, you're smiling. You're so happy. And I'm like, that's because I'm cooking for people. And it's just simple. I didn't do a special spice blend. I used pre-mixed spices. But everybody enjoyed it. And it's just a delight to share anything that you make. Whether it's for your personal consumption. And I mentioned gardening earlier. If you enjoy just cooking, I don't know if this counts. We have hummingbirds here, and I put up hummingbird feeders. And I'm sitting on my couch yesterday as a hummingbird zips by. I'm like, we got hummingbirds again. It's something that creates beauty in the world and joy amongst people who see it or partake of it. So, yeah, even the simple stuff, it's okay. Do it. Share it.
So all this information, nobody out there has an excuse not to create something. Write something. Just start. Whatever your craft is. Yeah.
I make lotions.
Awesome.
Very nice they are too. I don't know if this is the same for everybody who's involved in doing stuff with craft, but one of the things I hear a lot from people who are hesitant to give it a go when it comes to cookery is, well, yeah, I can do it, but it's not going to be as good as yours. Who gives a fuck? The point is, you made it.
Yeah.
You know, you and I and 700 other people can go to a supermarket tomorrow and buy a ready-made Findus lasagna that tastes like shit off the shelf, and we're all going to have the same shit experience eating it. Now, you can make a lasagna at home. Okay, it might be a bit burnt around the edges. You might have got the ingredients composition slightly wrong. It might not taste as good. But the point is, you fucking made it. Doesn't matter whether it's perfect or not. You're not seeking uniform perfection every time.
How many
if
of
you
us?
were, why not let a machine do it? Machine's always going to be far more perfect and consistent than you are, but it's also going to be fucking boring.
How many of us have a grandmother that used to make something that we love that one meal, and you know it's crap compared to the other stuff you can go out and buy or go to a restaurant or that you can make yourself, but you love that meal because your grandmother made it for you. Yeah, it's priceless. It's life.
Part of it is, do not expect, like woodworking, and since that's kind of what I'm talking about, the first one is not going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. The second one might not be perfect. The third one might not be perfect, but you could get there if you give it the time and practice the skills. Yeah. Everybody is project oriented. I have to create a chair. Well, okay, maybe you have to create just some joints first and practice those, get that skill down. And it's with anything, with writing, with music, with poetry, art, drawing. I don't care what you're doing. You're not going to, every project is not going to be perfect.
No,
but you can't,
but that's part of the joy of it. Surely is that, if I could churn out, if someone taught me a recipe for a meal, and then every single time from attempt 1 to attempt 1001, I made that dish perfectly, I wouldn't get anywhere near the sense of satisfaction of it. But because I fucked up those first 6 times, when number 7 comes out perfect, I will fight the world. That's how good I feel. You don't get that kind of feeling from generically mass producing something that's perfect every time. When you
it's the whole process.
Exactly, yeah.
And by the way, that being said, if you go to the store and buy those generic mass-produced things, but you put together a beautiful table, that food will taste better because your art is the craft of presenting that pre-made food. So, again, the same
like
point
with my costume.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I buy things that are pre-made and I alter them and add things. It's the process.
Well, just a good outfit. We've all put together that outfit that when we put it on, we're like, man, I look sharp. You didn't make shit, but you put the right things together to look like the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And by the way,
the automation of our society is killing our souls. Because I believe when you create, you're pouring yourself into your work. And we've all just got any art form, whatever. And that is a release. That is a reawakening of what it is to be human. And we're alive. We're going. And I tell the kids in class, when we don't create, bad things happen. And we're getting to this point. We're getting to where people are so angry. And I'll use evidence here. The kids have to create a company that they have to identify a problem, create a product, and a company that'll solve it. They came up with the idea, pollution was, of course, the first one. We live in a very filthy city. The other one is anger and violence. And these kids on a daily basis see robbery and thugs, and their product they're focusing on is how to make people calm. And the other one is how to stop pollution before it starts. Those are the two groups. Mm-hmm. And so I always share with them, no matter what class I'm in, is no matter what you find yourself in, angry, sad, happy, and the older ones, definitely drunk, great, get it out, express yourself. You'll feel better afterwards. In response to Kevin, and I got to go back to drawing, is when I go to a party, I always look for the thing that's lopsided and homemade, and that's what I try, because that's the good.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Is that why you kept complimenting me? By the way, Cyrnic says, after about the first 1,000 attempts, you'll produce something that's pretty good. And Kennedy says, in reference to your chair and joints, he says, those joints were smoking.
Hey, I do come from Oregon. It's legal here. So, we're good. But the funny thing about that is even that first attempt, there's joy in that. There's peace in that. A friend of mine when he would have a stressful day at job, he was a nurse. He would go out to the shop, grab his hand plane, and just make shavings. And just that calming motions and whether you build something or not. I'll do that in my shop as well. Just go in and throw a piece on the lathe and just make a shape.
Yep.
And it's very cathartic and it's very calming. And I think not enough people find those places. They go to their jobs. What's that?
I was going to say some of the greatest food I've ever cooked in the last 2 decades has been when I'm so angry I could have stabbed someone. And instead I've taken that rage, that energy, that anger, call it what you will, and I've channeled that into the creative process instead. And it is hugely cathartic.
It is. It is. And I think people miss that so much that they don't try to let that steam off. And they let it build up and it comes out as rage and violence and crime and you're waving your phone.
The destruction of our soul.
That's like a soul vacuum right there.
It is, man.
I've always been a tech geek and I love that. I remember when cell phones first came out, it was like, I don't want to be that connected to anybody. And now you lose your phone, there's a panic. It's like, where's this coming from? Yeah.
They're so fragile these days as well. We were having this conversation the other day, like a mobile phone now, they're almost designed to break as soon as someone sneezes heavily within 100-yard radius of it. And I remember proving a point once, the old Motorola brick, when they first came out, like your first ever truly mobile phone. And to prove a point about their durability, admittedly, I may or may not have been under the influence of alcohol at the time. But I once drop kicked a Motorola mobile phone 30 or 40 odd yards across a car park outside a pub at closing time into a brick wall where it promptly broke apart into all its component pieces, which I calmly picked up, snapped back together, turned on and rang someone. These days you drop a phone from 3 inches. Oh, I'm sorry, you're out $500. Fuck off and buy a new phone. That's ruined forever. It seems ironic that at the same time we're exchanging the beauty of handcrafting skills for factory perfect machining every single time, we still can't make a product that lasts. Yet, as someone said earlier, you take a Russian church that was made without the aid of any wood, any metal nails, any modern construction techniques, and it's still standing hundreds of years later. And you have to wonder, by trading off convenience against time taken to produce something by hand, what else are you sacrificing? It's not just the speed of how long it takes to make something, it's the durability, it's the long lastingness of that item. Yeah, okay, it breaks, no problem, we'll just turn another 500 out tomorrow. But then we're just destroying our appreciation of the item and the skill that's gone into making it. That's the saddest thing of all.
You're here.
Yep.
And we're also ignoring, we're losing appreciation for human hours and toil, because we all know that these phones are made in these slave factories. I mean, maybe not slave, but very, very, very poorly paid, overworked people that commit suicide, leap out windows, so they have to have netting all around the buildings. We know this, and yet we continue to purchase and buy.
Yeah, for any viewers that don't know
it, my workplace.
You're in a one-story building.
Yeah, they only fitted the netting since I started working there. They're like, yeah, this one looks like a jumper.
Or a pusher.
Yeah.
So
I would never push someone, Travis. Trip them, maybe. Never push them.
So I have a question. Ed,
Yo.
What do you create? What sparks your fire?
My wife.
Ed? Go ahead.
I've been a leather worker for probably about 6 years. I was an apprentice leather worker. And you said something earlier, you watch it walk out the door, and I know it was the fair scene, Renaissance fair scene, that type of thing. And it is a cool feeling, first finishing the product, and it's like, damn, I made that. And then when you get it in the shop and people come in and they ooh and ah over it and it walks out the door, it's like, wow, somebody actually bought that shit that I made. Cool.
Yeah. And they paid you for it, and they smiled thinking they got a great deal. So you were part of the Ren Fair thing. So do you know what the SCA is?
Yeah.
That was also part of my life for many, 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 many years.
Something Ed creates that's incredible, and he still creates them to today. He creates camping events. He'll create an event, invite his friends to go camping with him, and the food that is there, the camaraderie, the kayaking, he creates these social events that are so soothing and calm, and people don't realize the value of that. Throwing a party is an art, and it's more than just a fancy... Kevin?
I was going to say, these parties are so famous that I want to attend one, and I live 3,500 fucking miles away.
And it's going to
make it happen, bro. We're trying.
It'll happen one day, Ed.
It's making the atmosphere. And I want to read a comment from Skipper here. Andrea, thank you for all the bits, dear. Skipper says, a lot of people didn't understand why I enjoyed the maintenance part of my job at the theater, but I was a historic building. I often had a custom-made hardware because it was no longer available. I learned to repair plaster, replicate custom woodwork, etc. And Cyrenix says Apple's 1984 commercial kind of became a biography of the company itself. I don't remember that commercial. Do any of you?
No.
Cyrenix, you might have to drop a link for a YouTube video.
Yeah, put a link in so we can see it.
Just describe it, one of the two, because I've probably seen it. I'm just not clicking. But yeah, creating an atmosphere is an art in itself. The party this weekend, we told people to dress up in something they don't wear every day, because we all have these clothes that we never wear. So one person came as a pirate, somebody came dressed as a dinosaur, and Mrs. Skipper was a dinosaur. Her husband was a dinosaur handler. Andrea and I dressed in our Indian clothes, and it was just to wear something you don't normally do, to show a little bit of
Elizabeth wore her tiara and all her sparklies.
She did.
Yeah. And a lovely embroidered skirt with my Doc Martens.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm going to have to rock up in a suit made of stars and stripes material. This is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Kennedy says it's an Olympics commercial. I'm guessing the 1984 one.
Okay. It's still not hitting my memory. But
no, mine either, but I was 8.
Good for you, man. It's good to be 8.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, thinking about it as well, you, in a lot of ways, creative-wise, and it's never really hit me until now. I suppose you need to think about it outside the box, but what I do, or what I have done up until very recently creatively, which is working with food, it's a very fleeting thing. If I make a great meal and you enjoy it, I can't come back 4 weeks from now and see that great meal in pride of place on your side somewhere, you know?
Well,
whereas if you make a great piece of furniture, hopefully when you visit that person 20, 30, 50 years down the line, there's the piece of furniture still looking just as good as the day you made it. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, there's a more long-term sense of satisfaction from a job like that than there is perhaps with what I do.
But how many people out... Yes.
Sorry, who just joined us? Good to see you. Okay, go on there, Daniel.
But how many of you that have done something like that was fleeting, cooked a meal? I mean, how many of you remember a meal you had years and years ago?
Yes.
So that, yeah, me too.
And not just meals I've had. I remember specific meals that I've cooked, whether it's because I knew who the recipient was and that had significance to me, or just that I remember that I made that dish. That was the best time I've ever made that. That was the most perfect risotto, pie, whatever it might be. And that it does. You're right. It sticks in your brain for all that it's 10 minutes later. It's being digested by somebody.
Yeah. So it seems like that's a fleeting. Exactly. That's a fleeting art, but it's not. It sticks with people.
Yeah.
Well, Roughhead said earlier, cooking for people is great, and I missed the cooking show, and I'm sorry I missed the cooking show, because one of my wife and I's passion is cast iron cooking, and I'm really sorry I missed that show. And I remember 6 years ago now, we cooked a brisket for the first time over an open fire on a spit. And there was a friend of ours here with her little kids, and they're seeing the burnt chunks of meat and everything. They're like, ooh, that's nasty. And we're standing there just drooling, and we start peeling them off and dipping them in the sauce. And then they start peeling it off and dipping it in the sauce. Oh, this is great. I will never forget that meal for the rest of my life. And I love cooking for people because food is sustenance, therefore it's life. So that is one of the greatest gifts you can give to any friend or, even enemy.
So if you poison it right.
It was out of left field a little bit, but one of the nicest compliments anyone's given me for quite some time. You may remember from my incredibly drunken appearance on Christmas Day, my friend Sarah. Yeah. Okay. I went to Sarah's house a little while ago. She had a really bad couple of days, and she was in need of a pick-me-up. So we went around for a couple of beers with her. And she happened to mention she hadn't eaten very well for a few days, and the internal chef in me kicked in. And I was like, right, point me in the direction of your kitchen cupboards, because I'll be damned if I've ever been in anybody's house after a pub at 1 o'clock in the morning and not been able to create. So I don't care if you think you've got nothing in your kitchen cupboards. I will make a meal for 6. It's not a problem. I made a beef chili, and I got her to help me, because we'd both had a few beers by that point, and I just needed some assistance. And she said to me afterwards, making chili with you was more fun than the last time I got laid.
Wow.
Now, and coming from Sarah, that's quite significant, because it's third hour, but let's not impugn the woman's character too much. But suffice to say, she's not an inactive creature.
She's passionate about her passion.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very tactful way of putting it, Travis. Yes, and Sarah, if you're ever watching this program, that's the nicest way anyone's ever called you a slag ever. But it hit home to me that something I take for granted, something I've done for 22 years, day in, day out, to me, picking up a spoon and stirring and beginning to cook, it's like anyone getting up and breathing or making a cup of coffee in the morning. It's that second nature to me. And it's nice every now and then to be reminded, I think, that whatever it is that you take for granted is somebody else's special.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get weighed down in the day-to-day repetitiveness of something you do as a living, no matter how creative it is. And it's nice moments when someone reminds you that that's then going on to somebody who sees that in a totally different set of eyes to the way you do.
Right.
A side story, when Elizabeth showed up, we made a quick detour over to a grocery store called Wegmans, which is like the Disneyland of grocery stores.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to the Indian section, and I picked up 3 jars of Indian seasoning, like pickled lime and a couple other things, and a bag of garam masala that I can't find anywhere without going to an Indian store. And I was so excited to have these. I haven't used them since I've bought them just a few days ago, but I was just giddy, and we found an Irish mustard, didn't we, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
We were just so excited about it, and Elizabeth made her sandwich with the Irish mustard, and we're like, how was it? And she's like, oh, it was so great. It's that
Irish
simple.
Mustard.
Yeah.
It's like 90% potato.
It's made out of real Irishmen.
Made from real Irishmen. Nice.
It had the burn of it. Is it Coleman's?
Yeah. Coleman's English.
Yeah, it had that burn of it, but not that sharp intrusion. It was more like a low, steady burn, and it was really nice, strong and nice. Yeah.
I'm waiting to get some roast beef to make a nice roast beef sandwich with it, or some pastrami.
Yeah. Damn, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Do you guys deliver?
Ian says you can affect the entire mood of the folks you're cooking for through your food.
That is so true. Yeah.
Good or bad, yeah.
That's
a simple answer.
Yeah.
Some food and alcohol, and everybody's happy.
And that's sorry, go ahead, Kev.
I was just going to say, if you pay my airfare to Virginia, I will come to your house and cook for you.
Oh yeah. And no matter what mood I'm in, or even when I'm in a really dreadful mood at the end of the week, I look forward to making something on the weekend. I make short meals during the week, but on the weekend I make that big thing. And what is it going to be this week? And that just makes the whole week worth going. I mean, I don't understand people who don't cook. It's fabulous. I understand not every night, of course. I'm tired too, but boy, there's certain ones you go to. And you just I even make spaghetti sauce that takes 6 hours. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Go in and check on it. Stir the cauldron.
Yeah, when I make soup, I do that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's your favorite soup to make?
Chicken dumplings.
Ooh.
Because I make the dumplings and everything. It just takes forever, but it's good.
And it lasts for days afterwards.
So if any of your listeners out there want to try creating something the first time, or even the 100th time, I would love to see those. So hop on my website, itswood.com. Send me a picture, and we'll talk about it. I love creative people. Just do it.
Yeah, and I've been posting in the chat links to Dan the Woodworker's website and how to follow him on Instagram and Twitter. So check it out.
What are you going to say?
Thank you.
Out his wood.
Roughhead66, but I don't live in Virginia. Where do you live? I mean, if you can make a road trip, we'll put you up.
Yeah. Cyrenix says, I don't cook food, but I do mix drinks. That count? Absolutely. When we had Sarah on a week or two ago discussing mixing drinks, and even this weekend when people were like, I want a drink, and finding their taste, their palate, and then pouring something or mixing something. Yeah. Mixology is definitely another art form.
Hell, that's close enough.
Elizabeth Roughhead lives in New Jersey and works in New York City.
Yeah.
Hop on the train, come on down. We'll party.
Yeah.
He'll wear
We'll
a
make
kilt. Roughhead's a big kilt guy, so you could have a kilt party.
And I just saw the comment as well about them not living in Virginia. Let me just add, anyone who wants to pay my airfare to America, I don't care where you live. You pay for me to come there, I'll fucking cook for you.
I want to see fucking cooking.
Fucking cooking. I make Gordon Ramsay look like a Catholic choir boy.
Cyrenix,
No, all of Talk of the Tavern is not in Virginia. We are everywhere.
We are. Kevin's in the UK. Elizabeth is in New York. Ed, Andrea, and I are in Virginia. But I have had
different parts.
I have a co-host who have been in Ohio, in California,
Oregon.
Daphne was in Oregon.
Oregon, Portland, yeah.
Portland, that's where I'm at.
Wow.
Nebraska.
Are you in Portland? Are you?
I am.
My childhood friend, my best friend, went at primary school with me up until the age of 12. Met a girl from Portland at the top of the Eiffel Tower when he and she were both on holiday in France. They got married and he emigrated and is now a US citizen living in Portland.
Sweet.
So if you ever need any photography done, Damien Blacklock Photography.
He's good too.
Look him up.
He's good. Yeah, he's very good. Christ, he made me look photogenic, and well, you've seen the face.
And if any of you guys ever make your way to Portland, this area, Pacific Northwest, let me know. We'll party.
I most definitely would. Do you know what? We've always said, the wife and I both really want to come to America, not just because we're interested in the country, but because thanks to the beauty of the internet, we've both made friends ranging from really good friends like Travis and Andrea who've come and stayed with us here in the UK to just casual acquaintances. And obviously America's a huge country, you can't see everybody, so we were like, well, if we ever do go, we're going to have to take a couple of weeks because there's more than one place we need to be. But
if you get up this end of the country, you get a hold of me and I'll show you places worth seeing.
That would be amazing, and I will take you up on that offer because one of the places that's consistently always in our top 3 is Portland. Yeah. In fact, fuck it, I can say this. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Em won't know if I care if anyone knows this. Randomly, years ago, we were watching the program Man vs. Food, and he was at Voodoo Donut in Portland.
No, I'll tell you a secret.
Yeah.
Voodoo Donuts, not that good. Unique, unusual, not that good.
The reason I mention it's not so much to do with the donuts, but because when we watched the show, there were a couple in the shop that day renewing their wedding vows. Now, I'm assuming they still do this, but you can have your wedding vows renewed, or even I assume you can have the service as well. You can get married or have your vows renewed in the donut shop.
See, the thing you want to see if you're like books is Powell Books, the largest bookstore ever. It's a full city block, 4 stories high. It's worth seeing.
You'll never go home.
Yes. I will most. Yeah. Anyway, before we monopolise the entire show, I most definitely will tap you up, and I will be in Portland at some point, as well as Virginia, because it's in the top 3.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that to be trite. Seriously, you connect with me, and I'll show you around.
I appreciate that.
Here's
Thank
the
you very
thing.
much. Yeah.
Kevin said, pay for his trip. Pay for it. He'll come over. He didn't say anything about paying for him to go back.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Lady Skipper says we're in North Carolina. If they win the lottery, Kevin, they'll bring you over. And we do have a plan in place on Patreon that if you hit a certain level, if we hit a certain level of income from Patreon, we're bringing Kevin over for a group show.
It's a great British invasion.
So, and
colonization Mark II.
We get to that
Yeah,
point.
we should all go to Travis's house, all of us, and meet up and do a huge that 24-hour talk show, D&D game, cook-a-thon.
If this happens, you have to burst into the venue dressed as Paul Revere, shouting "The British are coming."
Oh, hell yeah.
More like Porn Revere.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it's.
All right.
It'll happen. One day, my Facebook status will read, "America, I am in you."
Yeah, it will.
As we see the Statue of Liberty bend over in pain.
Not excitement?
Pain.
Pain.
They're the same thing, Ed. You know this. Is it a smile? Is it a grimace? When I'm tapping behind, who cares?
Cyranic says,
All
1
right.
drink by land, 2 drinks by sea.
Only 2?
Yeah, I was going to say 2. That's a big C. I reckon I can down a dozen by the time I get there, and I'm willing to take cash on it.
There we go. We need to go ahead.
That'd be the I could do if somebody was willing to pay what it would cost to bring me to America. By the way, I need to mention as well, that's 2 of us, because there's no way you are ever getting me to America without bringing the wife along.
We have an airline for less than $1,000.
Shit, they were really good, weren't they? Anyway, yeah, I think the least I could do would be to turn up and spread the joy by cooking for people, you know?
Yeah.
It's I look forward to
I'll pitch in.
Yeah.
All
Just
British
have a
cooking
cooking
is
party.
flavorless.
Cooking party.
But who's going to pay for me to go to the East Coast, though? So,
We'll work it out. We'll do what we've always done with this show for 5 years. We operate on the field of dreams principle. If we build it, they will come.
Well, and speaking of British invasion, tomorrow on Tuesday, we have Lee from White Party Radio, which is out where Kevin is.
Yeah.
Bastards, I'm on an all-day shift tomorrow. I'd love to be there. If you're watching tonight, please tune in for that show tomorrow. Lee's one of the loveliest, most down-to-earth, funny, kind people you will ever meet.
He's also the one that started this show live, the live version of this show, as opposed to a pre-recorded podcast. There was a station, an internet station out of Seattle, who approached me about doing a show, and I went, "That great, I'd love to." And then it collapsed in a mound of politics and egos, and I whined to Kevin, and Kevin went, "Call Lee." And I did, and Lee went, "Oh, great, when do you want to start?" I'm like, "Well, Monday." And he's like, "Okay." 2 days later, I had my first live show thanks to Lee on White Party Radio and Pirate Radio done right. WhitePartyRadio.com. Go check it out.
So join us.
Cheers to Lee. Yeah.
Cheers. Join us live on Twitch tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4.
There'll be music and drinking. I don't know what kind of music, though. I'm going to just check it with Lee.
How far behind are you guys? 5 hours?
Yep.
So you're on from 6 o'clock in the evening my time?
Correct.
Yep.
6 to 9 your time.
All right, fuck it. I'm going to see if I can swing my break tomorrow and then get someone to cover me from 6 till 7 so I can be on a break, and I'm going to come and abuse Lee for the first hour.
Okay, you got
There
Skype
you
on your
go.
phone?
No, but fuck it. I'll install it on the office at work.
There you go. There you go. That works. Just drop
Whatever
a
it
message. I'm
takes.
sure Lee won't mind you popping in. I'm not even going to ask permission.
Lee won't mind anything. He genuinely is. If that guy was any more laid back, they'd carry him around on a stretcher.
Make sure you take your headphones with you, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Just earbuds. Well, even if he's got a decent phone, he should be all right. And if not, he can make faces the whole time and not speak.
Oh, yeah. I'll just come and abuse him in the chat box.
There we go.
Lee likes being abused in his box.
Woo, yeah. Is he still driving a cab for his day job?
I think so, yeah.
I'll find out tomorrow, see what he's doing. But I know he's trying to do a reemergence of his... You know, Daniel, that might be something else you could do. If I put you in contact with Lee, he will play pre-recorded shows if you get him the file. And then you'll just schedule it for the time of day you want, and then boom, your show has one more outlet. You're syndicated.
Yeah, seriously, talk
There
to
you
Travis.
go. Awesome.
Genuinely need to talk to Travis about that, because especially here on the Isle of Wight, which is where White Party Radio is based out of, which is a small island off the south coast of the UK. There's a very rural sort of countryside feel to the whole area. So particularly shows about handcrafts and woodwork, I can see that kind of thing going over quite well. And I know that Lee's always looking for new and interesting content. So do have a chat with Travis off air about that. I'm pretty sure if you're interested, you could get on okay here.
I do want to point out it's WIGHT.
Yes, white like the ghost.
Not anything
Don't
in
worry
reference to the news article that Travis talked
It's
about.
all right. It's
yeah,
cool.
not that kind of Isle of Wight. No.
Anybody get offended? Piss off.
And literally, if anybody out there that's listening to this knows someone that's a woodworking person, tool person, that has an interesting story, get a hold of me. I don't only do face-to-face interviews. I'll do Skype interviews. I'll make it happen because I want to capture these stories.
There you go. And if you need any help with the tech for that, Daniel, let me know. I'll set you up with some really easy software to use. It's free.
Oh, yeah, no, that was the show I did before this for this old workshop was all Skype. Okay. I mean, totally.
Okay.
So I'm good there. But thank you so much for the offer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything to help people with their creative outlets.
Oh, I love that skull, Elizabeth.
We've always been all about the community, haven't we?
Oh,
okay, let's make it big for her.
Whoa, steady on, woman. You've been busy.
Sorry.
Look at that.
That's all that rummaging off camera was.
That's right, baby.
That a bunny butt. Oh my god.
Bunny butt or cat? Is that That's
Good?
awesome.
Yeah, very nice.
I haven't got the KKK in there, baby.
I'm sorry.
Look it up,
Bishop.
Yes, you have, Elizabeth. All the bits you haven't drawn on are white.
That's the that's enough to pop. The Pope. The Pope is the Pope. It's the wine of the Pope.
Nice.
All right, I'll finish it up later.
Nice.
I get
good.
to drink and relax for a little bit now.
You do.
What does a guy have to do to get a copy of that?
Well, yeah, we'll send it
Please?
over. Yeah.
Please? Yes, I'd love to have a picture of that.
Every picture every show she's done a picture, she's sent a snapshot. So we're collecting them and we put them out about the show. So
They're on our Instagram.
We should
Instagram,
have
Twitter.
people throw bits and they can add to the sketch. What do they want me to draw?
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's fill up the bar and fill up the board. Throw your bits now.
Elizabeth, hold that up. What are you drinking?
Nothing.
Oh, Fireball. No, not a fan. Not a fan.
It's the only one I can drink so far, and
what's that?
I've discovered
since I moved to New York, I can drink this. Not in great quantities, very little. Very little.
Tonight I have discovered the world's only problem with Chateau Neuf de Pape, and
What's
it
Not
runs
enough?
out.
Ah,
You poor bastard. I'm so sorry. I'm so
it's
sorry.
such a good one.
I wasn't going to mention it,
You're
but I
gonna have
am
to wait
going to
till
say
they
this
get rid of more.
just to make you fucking sick. I have no idea what this stuff would cost you in the US, or even if anyone knows what it costs over there. It's normally It's normally 18 quid a bottle when we sell it in the bar.
Yeah.
That cost me £5 a bottle.
Nice.
Fuck you.
That's the cost
We're
of
all
a beer.
jealous.
Oh,
Yeah.
when I can get one on sale, it's around 32, 36.
Oh.
Well, you're a lot closer.
This is true, yeah. Geographically speaking, they could probably lob me a bottle almost from the vineyard. But
Andrea, what were you going to say?
Trebuchet.
I was gonna say, since we have about 10 minutes left, is there let's talk about the shows coming up and find someone to raid.
Okay.
Good thinking, Batman.
Now, the shows coming up this week, we've already mentioned at length. Tomorrow we have Lee from White Party Radio. Wednesday, I believe we're going to have a couple people from Cogs Expo pop in for a few minutes, and then we're carrying on with Mo about basically social media education, how to use it effectively, what hashtags are, what they do, how to use them between Twitter, Instagram, how Facebook sucks, and so on. And Thursday, we have a whole show on transgender rights, where we'll have Mo on again, as well as Ashley Rogers, my friend Stephanie, and Mr. Barrett, who I do not know, but looking forward to having him on. Now, Elizabeth, heads up for you. Because of the way things have shifted, originally next Monday was supposed to be Whose Line, but we had to move it back a week because Ed's otherwise occupied next Monday. So you should be ready to do your One Pickle, One Lady, One Beer. So basically, we're going to focus on Pickleman Productions and what you do for your creative outlet, and talk about that. No pressure.
End of year.
I went from June 18th to next Monday.
It has moved around. Now, if that's not good for you, I will come up with some other topic.
You know what Travis is like. He likes to keep his pickle moving.
He does. He does.
I will not have
happy
internet
with me.
next.
He's not happy with me. I've been not giving him enough attention. So
your pickle or
I
me?
gotta pickle man. He's been a little discarded at the time. So.
What are you doing next week, Ed, that you're not going to be here?
Douthit State Park. There's no reception down there of any
It's a
kind.
beautiful park, though. I like that park.
Yeah.
I've camped there before. It's very nice.
And Travis, if you guys ever want to do the online D&D game or the live D&D game, we'll do it. You tell me and I'll write a game.
Okay. Daniel, can I friend you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I have a few things going right now with other players who we're not kicking you out. I'm trying to include you in. Because right now we're looking at who can do what. So it sounds like it's going to end up being 2 separate games once a month each. So, and if we decide we want to broadcast it, that's fine. We'll talk about that outside of the show tonight. But yeah, I'll
even if it's a one-off game just for one night. Awesome. Because I don't know that I'd have time to put because I run a game every week with my friends. And I don't want to take my time away from them. But yeah, if you want to do one-off game, I'll do it. And I promise not to make any spiders attack Elizabeth. Oh, look at that face. She remembers.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Not only did he attack me, he turned me into a spider. It was horrible.
Just like to add my own personal peek to that, then if anyone's making the odd 8,000-mile round trip between wherever in the US you live and where I'm situated right now, I'm partial to a game of Magic the Gathering myself. So,
well, Kevin,
my daughter just started playing that.
Kevin, we'll get you on for a Wednesday when you have a day off, and we'll do Magic the Gathering, a whole show of it, just playing Magic Gathering.
I have new cards I need to break in.
Do you?
She does.
Do Do you guys play do you just play standard? Do you play commander? EDH?
I play Commando.
Commander. I have played.
I go Commando.
I don't think
Commando.
it's always difficult to know what terms things are referred to, whether the same terms are used worldwide by Commander or EDH. I'm referring to a 100-card deck.
No, I don't do that.
Okay. So if anyone plays Commander, I've got a Goblin army that will hand you your ass. Anyway, moving on.
I've done both, Kevin. The problem with playing Commander is that large card deck, as in the cards are large, that you have to pull from. We would each have to have our own stack because we can't both draw from the same deck for that. So but yeah, it's a possibility. I've been totally ignoring everybody's comments.
That's some great goggles there.
Just remember we have an audience.
Oh, see that?
Okay. This is the first comment I saw.
John, who is Max RPG, has a store in Gloucester, not too far from us. And by the way, the only reason I mention his shop is not only is it, comics and games and whatnot, but he really focuses on the community and helping the kids out, making things in his shop that the kids can interact with, including film, computer, etc. So he really helps out the community. And so I don't know which one he said, I'll ship you some, but yes. And John, I need to get together with you on the phone and plan some time together. But we'll at least see you probably this upcoming weekend for Free Comic Book Day, where we can stop in and say hello.
Free comic book!
Yeah. Roughhead says, I know a writer in Brooklyn who is a world-class Magic the Gathering player, did it professionally, Alex Schwartzman. And the goggles that he posted a link for were based on a Thomas Williford design, who is the guy that created the arm that was in Castle, the steampunk arm, and many others.
Wasn't he on a video or one of the shows?
He's been on the show a couple times, including live at Vandalia Con. I did an interview with him last year at Steampunk World's Fair. He has also been one of the judges on the reality TV show Steampunked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he gets around the steampunk community, pretty well known there. But yeah, nice goggles, man. Nice goggles. I like them.
Guys, I want to thank you so much for the chance to do this. It was
Thanks
amazing.
For joining us, man.
It was fun. It was
pleasure.
really fun. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's much more.
Thank you for sharing your wood with us.
Yeah. And being on time.
With the grain, baby. With the grain.
It's the grain.
Yeah, just like steak.
I like it when it's a little warped.
Kennedy says Thomas will be at the COGS event for everybody there, as well as Victor and the Bully from the UK. They'll be there. Montague
awesome.
Mange will be there. Carnival will be there. And yeah, it's going to be a great time for anybody that can make it out to Jersey, Piscataway this weekend. And so I'm guessing Kennedy's going to be there from all the talk here. So yeah, we got 3 more minutes, so let's do a closing toast here, and I will find somebody to raid. For those of you that don't know, raiding is where I set it up, where we all automatically transfer on Twitch from here to there. Man, just wood is an incredible part of our life, and it's a craft that's disappearing. So here's to just loving the wood.
If it's wood, we're good.
My wood's been loved, and it's disappeared to quite a few things over the years.
Let's see who that's on.
I love the dark hour. I mean, I love the dark hour.
It looks like it will be Lady Orange we're raiding this evening.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Cool. She's a sweetheart.
She is. And some nice homemade music there. And like Ed said, she's a sweetheart. So what else we got here? Kevin talking about his deck.
Getting my deck out for the ladies.
I do have a squirrel.
I haven't heard you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I haven't heard his cock this evening.
Well, allow me to correct that for you instantly.
Ready?
Kevin redeeming his cock.
Yes, unlike me to leave it till this late in the show to whip out my cock.
There we go.
If it's blank, it's Frank.
It's quality, not quantity.
Everybody have a great night. We're going to go with the outro music now.
Thanks.
Good night, everyone.
Discussion shenanigans. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the Tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.